The 100th episode of Elysabeth's Whining About Movies is brought to you by the first annual Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. It's too late to have made a film. Isn't that sad? Like, people didn't make films?
It's so sad.
It's so sad. I mean, the last entry is tomorrow night at midnight, or 11:59. Got a lot of good films, though.
Oh, I'm excited.
And there's been a deluge of film. Like, we got, 15 films in the last couple of days. It's going to be exciting. So that's kind of neat. Really? Don't you think so?
I think it's amazing.
So let me ask you this before we start this show: what's it like for you to get a 100? We started this COVID. You know, you couldn't work because lockdown. Lockdown. By the way, we're in lockdown again today.
Yes,
lockdown has begun. So it's almost like we've done 100 episodes of this show. And all the work we did when we started, we're now back to literally where we started.
Yeah, we are.
In March.
It's full circle.
It's gone full circle, but we now have 100.
On our 100th show.
On our 100th show, it's gone full circle. We're back into lockdown. The show was born out of lockdown. And are you excited to talk about Kill Bill 1 and 2?
My God.
We haven't done any Tarantino.
Which is insane.
It's crazy, right?
So crazy, but I'm glad we saved it for the 100th.
I am too. We got lots of booze too for the show.
Yeah, we received a package today.
We got a package from the official couple of the Burnettwork, Claude and Candida.
Yes, we did.
That's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. So we've come to it at last. Now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and a Red Dawn. Oh, that's a different movie. But it's coming out this week on 4K. Anyway, we are here for Elysabeth's. I am Robert Meyer Burnett, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your master of fun and wonder, your sommelier of cinema. But you're not here for me. Let's face it. You're here for this lovely creature, Elysabeth Gwendolyn Belle. I finally said your name. I didn't ask who you were. I know you're Elysabeth Gwendolyn Belle, but I don't want to step on your line. So what are you?
I am the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence, and the enchantress of entertainment.
So I gotta, first of all, Claude and Candida, the first couple of the Burnettwork, sent us this white overproof rum. It's guaranteed full strength, and it'll be like Esteban in Kill Bill Part 2.
I just want to
Although he was probably drinking tequila. Yeah, so why don't we start? We're going to start not with wine, but something has happened. Something has happened with this cap. I don't know what happened with this cap.
Let me see it. Oh, you have to
see. I don't know.
See it.
No, I think the cap actually broke. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but something.
I guess we can't have rum.
I guess we can't have. That's terrible. We gotta have rum.
I'm excited about the wine.
I don't know why this. What happened? I don't know.
Are you sure?
Yeah, something came out of it. Yeah, no, it busted.
That's it.
Live on TV, that's what happens.
We can't have rum. It's a sign.
We'll figure it out. It smells really good, too. Hang on. Maybe that was... Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh, see, it's because you want to pour a big glass, but it just lets you have a dribble.
Because they're smart that way.
That's it.
Well, see, we tried. I am not infallible. So I think tonight we should start by drinking to our audience.
Yes.
To our imagination connoisseurs, to everybody who's stuck with us for 100 episodes.
100.
And we want to thank Claude and Candida for being the great couple that they are. By the way, we didn't show this, but here is the rum they sent us. And let's, why don't we have a drink?
Let's have a drink.
To all of you who watch our show, here's to the audience. Ooh, that is tasty. That is really good.
Well, that's like fire.
It is, man.
Whoo! Whoo!
Woo! Anyway.
Oh.
So you had never seen Kill Bill.
What?
I showed him. Didn't I show him to you for the first time?
Yeah, but not last night.
No, not last night. But I was trying to. My point was going to be like, you'd never seen these movies.
No, you know why? They came out right when Sophie was born.
Well, that's okay. You don't need to have an excuse to not see a movie.
Well, I feel bad because I love these films.
Well, that's
Sorry,
where I
I'll
was
adjust
going
my
with
hair.
this was I wanted to get you to discuss how you felt first watching these movies earlier this year.
Earlier this year, we watched them 3-4 years ago.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. We were in the apartment.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, we were.
No, we watched them in our bedroom now, where we live now.
we didn't.
Yes, we did. Anyway, yes, we did. We did not watch these in your apartment. I never brought these movies to your apartment. You know why? I'll tell you why I never brought these movies to your apartment, and I know why. Because you did not have a multi-region player there, and I don't have Kill Bill on regular Blu-ray, Kill Bill 1. I only have the Japanese DVD. So we couldn't have watched it at your house. I'm just saying. But that's okay.
What difference does it make?
Well, all right. What I was going to say was, all I wanted to know is what you thought of these movies because you loved them the first time you saw them. That's where I was going. Instead of interrupting me, I was just going to get to the point where you're supposed to say, I love these movies.
I thought you were rubbing it in that I just recently saw these movies.
No, we're supposed to be on the same page, babe. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I would not rub it in like that. I wasn't being mean. I was trying to set you up to tell everybody how much you love these films when you first saw them.
Yeah, I love these films. I couldn't believe that I hadn't seen them sooner.
Right. And now is the time.
Do you have any Kill Bill figures?
No, there are Kill Bill figures available, but they're bootlegs. They've made
I
few.
don't care. Can I want that for Christmas. Along with a Zed.
You want the bride and a Zed, and
I do.
you want a.
Does she come in the yellow jumpsuit?
Yes, that's what
with
she
the yellow shoes?
Yes.
Oh my God, I want that. That's what I want for Christmas.
Okay, well, all right. Then that's what you shall receive. Wait, we're not opening this yet.
Why not? I want some wine.
Okay, we're getting some. Babe, come on. This is going to be a long show, I can already tell. This was our four gracias.
Oh, yes. Well,
from the Willamette
wait a
Valley.
second. You should save that for the second part.
No, I figured we'd start with this.
Okay.
This is what we talked about.
Like in the Bible, when you start with the really good wine first.
Yeah, right. But then they said it's good wine too, but...
Yeah, but,
you know,
yes, they did.
But I figured, look, either way, I was going to save this when they go to Mexico way. For Kill Bill 2, I will drink Claude and Cadilla's wine.
The French wine?
Why are you making this so hard? It's so difficult. We're supposed to be talking about... The audience is like, well, who the hell are these people? Here, why don't you give me your glass?
They know who we are.
Well, yeah, I guess it's our 100th episode. Why don't you give me your glass and let me show.
Okay, this had 90 points.
90 points on whatever wine scale. It is a Pinot Noir. That's why you chose it. But it's from the Willamette Valley, so.
So?
Oregon, Washington wines. I like that. Right, here you go. I will pour some up for myself. And I think we should cheer to a double header. This is only the second time we've done a double header.
Yeah, second time. And the first time included Zed.
It did include Zed. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. That's what a Quentin Tarantino fan would say. So anyway, the point is, we did watch these movies again. And I would like to say, to toot my own horn, that I have the Japanese version of Kill Bill Part 1. Now, a lot of you might be asking yourself, what difference does it make? Well, the house...
Wait, there's a positive part to it, but there's also a negative part to it.
There's a negative... Well, okay, you can explain... Okay, all right. All right, that's true. Which it was a bit of an obstacle, which we surmounted.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying.
Okay, well...
But it was worth it for the scene that we got.
Okay, so here's the trade-off. So apparently, in Japan, they released 2 collector's box sets of each Kill Bill. Kill Bill Volume 1, the Japanese version of the film.
This is really good, by the way.
Oh, I haven't even tried.
It's worth 90 points.
Okay. Well, that is good. That's tasty. So, the Japanese version of Kill Bill, everybody who's watching this remembers the House of Blue Leaves sequence, where you have the Crazy 88, you have the 654, or what is it, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3.
The Japanese band, when they go to the House of the Blue Leaves sequence, where O-Ren Ishii is there with her minions. Well, in the American version, a lot of you will remember, it goes to black and white because of the bloodletting that happened. Well, the Japanese version is in color the entire time, and there are a lot more inserts of the violence and the blood spewing because it's Japanese and it's like a samurai movie. It was what it was inspired by, and so the Japanese version of Kill Bill Volume 1 is, I think, a better version of the movie. It's more satisfying at the end because it truly is blood-drenched, like Shogun Assassin, which is later referenced in Kill Bill 2. It is very much a Shogun Assassin like bloodletting scene. It's fantastic, all in color.
It is.
Now, why
I've never seen the released version.
Oh yes,
ever,
you never have.
You've always shown me this version,
mm-hmm.
So I don't even know.
Well, if you'd be very disappointed if you watched the.
I think I would.
Now, one of the downsides of having a Japanese DVD is that you have
they don't translate the Japanese.
Yes, well, you can choose when people speak in Japanese in this movie, like Hattori Hanzo, Sonny Chiba.
There's no need for subtitles because it's a Japanese disc for Japanese people.
So, well, you can turn on English subtitles, but you don't want English subtitles playing during the whole movie.
No.
So whenever they start speaking Japanese, you kind of have to put on the subtitles.
You have to switch it on and then switch it off. Very annoying.
Yeah, but wasn't the trade-off worth it? I mean, seeing the House of Blue Leaf sequence, blood drenched, and the only other downside is it's only ever been, to my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's only ever been released this way in Japan in this one box set special edition.
I don't know.
That's the only way you can get it. But somebody might out there know. And they were great because they came with a T-shirt and they came with 6-scale Hattori Hanzo swords. It was really awesome.
Where are the swords?
Oh, I don't know. They're around here somewhere. I mean, I got this like, what? It came out, I got this in 2004.
No, that's the year the film came out. There's no way you got the disc in 2004.
Kill Bill came out Kill Bill Part 2 came out in 2004. I got this disc in 2004. Kill Bill Volume 1 came out in 2003. I got this in 2004. So 16 years ago. And I opened it up, Anyway, now that this is the longest preamble in Elisaview's history, why don't we get to the movie? This is Quentin Tarantino's fourth film. After Reservoir Dogs, after Pulp Fiction, and after Jackie Brown.
Okay, I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs or Jackie Brown.
Which we should rectify because they're great.
Yeah, I have to see them. And
as Quentin Tarantino said, that Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, they made it all at the same time.
Right.
And it was the Weinstein brothers, he who shall not be named, suggested releasing them in 2 parts.
Yes.
There is a version of this movie that I have seen. I saw it at Quentin Tarantino's theater called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, which I wish they would release somewhere, which is both movies cut together.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the way everybody saw them, they were cut into 2 films, and as Quentin Tarantino has said, Part 1 is really about
it's
grindhouse
the samurai
East
meets West. So it's the samurai, and then the second part is spaghetti western, but there's still some kung fu stuff in there too.
But it's kung fu movies, samurai movies, those kinds of grindhouse films, and then the western Part 2, which is pretty interesting because this movie, in a way, Part 1 and Part 2, the attitudes toward these films when people saw them was kind of the attitude that I used to hear from people who talked about Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Infinity War has more of the action, and then Endgame has more of the plot and story. And Quentin Tarantino said in that documentary...
Well, he even said, the first part asks the questions, and then the second part answers them.
So, the movie opens in black and white, with Uma Thurman's bloodied face. The bride is on the ground.
Yes.
And you hear the voice of Bill, David Carradine.
Yes.
This is me at my most masochistic.
Right.
And she says, Bill, it's your bait... And
he shoots her.
The unnamed bride gets shot.
Yeah. The bride. And then we cut to our hometown where we're living right now. Yes. She is driving in Pasadena in the Pussy Wagon.
And she goes to Vernita Green's house.
Yes. And it really does look like Pasadena.
It does look like... No, I mean...
Did he really film it here?
Probably.
Because it really looks like Pasadena.
And we find out that there is a group of assassins called the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad.
Right.
And there are
there's five of them.
5 of them, like Fox Force 5 in Pulp Fiction, but there's 5 of them, and their leader is David Carradine, Bill. His code name is Snake Charmer.
Snake Charmer.
And he apparently has put a bullet, and then it says it's 4.5 years later, and she pulls up in the pussy wagon in front of Vernita Green's house.
Yes.
Played by Vivica Fox, who I later got to direct in a Femme Fatales episode.
Did you really?
I did. I got to direct Vivica Fox.
Why did she do a Femme Fatale?
Because she's awesome, that's why.
Exactly.
Are you saying
awesome.
that I got to work with Steve
Why?
Railsback in Femme Fatales? I got to work with Vivica Fox in Femme Fatales. Vivica Fox is, by the way, she's an absolutely beautiful...
She's gorgeous.
Woman. Sassy lady. I love her a lot. So, we go in, and Vernita Green is now a housewife in Pasadena.
She's a housewife, yes.
She has a daughter, and she's married to a doctor.
Yes. So she goes there, knocks on the door, and she opens the door, and she's surprised to see her.
Well, she's surprised to see her, and then what's so great about these two movies is Quentin Tarantino... It's not just a genre pastiche, it's a pastiche of techniques that were pioneered in many different movies. And we hear this great voo, 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 voo. You see the eyes, as they make eye contact.
Yeah.
And you know that's like that's like almost like the Imperial March of The Empire Strikes Back, but this is like shit's gonna go down. This is the shit gonna go down moment.
Yes.
And Quentin Tarantino, he had the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan write some original music, but he uses a lot of different music from other movies.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things are from Eastern, a lot of Japanese films, and it's pretty great.
It is great.
And then what happens next?
Well, they start beating the shit out of each other.
And what did you think of the ferocity of this fight?
I mean, it's crazy. They're like throwing each other around, breaking tables and tossing everything around. It's pretty intense and pretty badass.
So badass. Now, do you usually go for this kind of fighting?
Well, it depends. I love the fighting in Tarantino films because they're so over the top and fantastical that it's actually enjoyable to watch.
But this doesn't go that fantastical. I mean, this is brutal.
It's brutal.
This is hardcore, and it kind of turns me on watching two women try and kill each other.
Of course.
I mean, it's beautifully choreographed, and Yen Wo-ping, who's the choreographer on movies like, of course, the Matrix trilogy and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Yen Wo-ping's whole team play the Crazy 88s.
Right.
Pardon me. Even though it says the Crazy 8, they just call themselves Crazy 88, but in the credits it's the Crazy 88. But the fight scenes, and as we learned on the documentary, Tarantino pretty much choreographed these fights himself. He had written the way they were, almost every shot. And Yen Wo-ping asked him why do you need me? So, but now, were you surprised? Like, have you ever seen a movie that opens this way, when it just immediately jumps into the action, where you see this unbelievably ferocious fight in this house?
Well, no, I mean, I think that's why I love his films, because they're so unusual. I mean, they're unlike any other films, I think, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. Well, in a way, though, they're like a lot of other movies.
Well, yes. So he uses a lot of things that, bring nostalgia to him. Like, he's like putting in everything he loved as a child. He just throws it all in, but in a way that is so unique. I mean, I've never seen films made the way he makes them.
Right. I mean, he's got encyclopedic knowledge of film history.
Right.
So watching his films watching his movies, it's almost like you're feeling there's no greater love of the entire genre, all the different genres he touches on, but there's no greater love of cinema. To watch a Quentin Tarantino movie is to fall in love with cinema all over again, because he just borrows and uses all the different techniques through all of cinema history, but
not only that, but music too. The way he uses music is just so unique, and also evokes like a nostalgia for, things of the past.
Oh, it's amazing. But then at the same time, there's also a very sophisticated wit.
Yes.
And in the middle of this fight, where they just destroy this family room of this house, in the front room of the house, so any neighbor could look in, they stop.
They
talk.
They stop because they hear the bus come. There's a bus that stops out front,
and it's so great the way, the timing of it. I when I watch this, I think of the first AD director and Quentin Tarantino. Cue the bus, and the bus pulls in right as they're fighting, and it deposits.
Yes.
Vernita's daughter, her 4-year-old daughter.
Right. They stop, and the little girl comes off the bus and comes inside.
And what's interesting
about... And in the
about...
meantime, they've hidden the knives that they were fighting with behind their backs.
And they're all bloody and everything.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about this film is, so Kill Bill 1 opens with this scene of a mother and her daughter. We haven't got to Kill Bill Part 2, but I always thought this is an interesting motif when you watch these two movies together, and it's not something a lot of people talk about. But the fact that Vernita Green has the life that Uma Thurman was trying to have.
Exactly.
Her character was that Bill says you could never have been, and yet Vernita Green somehow has the life that she had. I mean, She's got the daughter, and so Vernita's life at the beginning is exactly what the bride was hoping to get.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting that the beginning of her revenge is to first destroy, and you don't know this yet when you're watching the movie. As an audience member, you don't even find this out until Part 2. But I do think it's always interesting and worth noting that that's the case with the film, that she literally, the first thing she does is destroy the very life that she herself was seeking.
Exactly.
And then they know they're... Uma Thurman makes it very clear after the daughter comes home, they don't want to show the daughter violence. And also there is a code that you don't kill someone who's pregnant, which we learn later. These assassins have a code about children. You're not going to kill in front of kids, or you don't kill somebody with child, which you find out in Part 2.
I don't remember that because they obviously tried to kill her. Yeah,
but no, when she says, "I'm pregnant," there's the whole thing and she says the assassin's like,
oh right, the assassin.
Mm-hmm. and the reason she's saying that is, you can't, if I'm with child, you can't kill me. And I think one of the great things about like mob movies, I've always, like, no wives, no girlfriends.
I thought she was saying that because a mother will do anything to protect her child. I mean, anything. So I think that was more of a threat. Like, you try to come at me, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Right, but they were going to kill each other anyway. So, that could be. I mean, I've always read it that the reason she's spending so much time trying to convince her she's pregnant in Kill Bill Part 2 is, you can't just go home. I'm pregnant.
I think she was playing on both. Like,
yes.
Woman to woman, like, look, I'm pregnant.
Meaning, there's definitely some of that, but
there's a code here. You cannot kill me because I'm pregnant. And secondly, if you even try, I'm going to fucking destroy you.
Right, but yes, but she might not have got that chance. But anyway, I mean, this is just, for me, there's this, the idea of the children. So we're not going to kill them. And there's the great scene when they then go into the kitchen to talk.
They do. They go into the kitchen for coffee. And
it even mirrors the same conversation that she has with Bill at the end of Part 2. Let's talk about our final showdown. Right. We're going to have it in a baseball field at night, and we're going to all be dressed in black. And Vernita's like, I have to make her cereal.
Right. So she goes in the cupboard and takes a cereal box,
which has a gun hidden in it.
Turns around and shoots her. Tries to shoot her. And then she just unleashes on her.
Unleashes. And Vernita Green is dispatched.
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, the little girl comes in. And she says something interesting to her.
What does she say?
She says, your mother had it coming. And when you're older and you feel like you need to come and deal with this, I'll be waiting for you.
I'll be waiting for you. Like, she's like, here's your first life lesson, kid. I know you're 4 and your mother is dead on the ground here in the kitchen. That was
intense.
But I think it says so many things about this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it sets up the fact that, first of all, how much fun it is to watch, wildly entertaining, and yet you realize that this film is all these questions, the Deadly Viper assassination squad, and even the way they use text on screen. I mean, he breaks every rule you learn in film school. I mean, and it is a melange of stuff that only he could do.
Which I love that he does that.
I love it.
That's what makes his films so unique.
Yeah, and you know, the craft of this movie, Robert Richardson shoots this film. This film is beautifully shot. And Sally Menke, who sadly passed away, his editor, she's an amazing editor. These fight scenes, the choreography, everything about this movie, it's made, there's just joy that leaps off this.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that loves character, I mean, Tarantino, David Carradine said something interesting about this movie. And he said, well, all Quentin Tarantino's movies, he said that Quentin Tarantino's movies are about people who lead lives of violence.
Right.
And that he's getting into the psyche of people who lead lives of violence.
Yeah.
They know no peace. You know, they're criminals, they're on the edge, he's never going to make the Brady Bunch. Right. Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she leaves, and she's got this, well, you don't know, she has the keys that say Pussy Wagon.
Right.
You know, and she takes off.
She goes in the Pussy Wagon down the street. And
then, yeah.
And then what? Does it cut back to...
Well, it cuts back to after she kills Vernita, it cuts back to the church that we saw from the beginning of the movie. Where we meet Michael Parks in one of 2 roles that he plays in the film. He plays a detective. So we've gone back 4 years, and we see the massacre when the bride was shot in the head, and we find out that there was a church full of people, 9 people, massacred, just flat out. We don't know why. We don't know why Bill would want to kill. We know she wants to kill Bill because that's the title of the movie. We know she said, Bill, I have your baby. Your baby's mine. But that's all. And suddenly all these questions. Who are these people? Why are they in this church? Why are they in El Paso, Texas? We don't know.
We don't.
And you meet Michael Parks and his son, who's like the deputy, and they're looking at like what the hell is happening.
Yeah, so they are investigating what this mass murder was.
And they don't know. It's all a mystery.
And so they are, he bends down to look at the bride, and he's like, who would kill such a beautiful girl, and blah, blah, blah. And then she kind of spits up.
Spits in his face, which is an involuntary reaction we find out she has.
So he's like, oh, this one's alive.
And each one of these sections are chapters, like in a book, in a story.
They are chapters.
So after we've got a backstory, we find out, okay, there was a massacre at this church, we don't know why. And that was 4 years ago. Then we jump ahead 4 years again to a hospital room.
Right. She has been in a coma for 4 years.
Yep.
And she wakes up.
She doesn't quite wake up yet. We meet Buck.
No, she's awake by the time Buck brings his guy in.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's correct.
So she wakes up, but she can't move her legs. And then she hears somebody coming, so she closes her eyes, and in comes the nurse with this dude, and he has sold her for $75 for this guy to have sex with her.
That means that we know that for the last 4 years, the Buck, who likes to fuck, played by the great Michael Bowen, who played Julie's original boyfriend in Valley Girl. Michael Bowen was in a lot of Tarantino films, but Buck, who likes to fuck, has brought scumbag, for $75 you can have your way with her.
Right. So
and he doesn't know that the bride has come back to life.
Right. So for 4 years, he's been bringing dudes by and selling her body, and also probably himself having his way with her. And so the guy, he's like, there's 3 rules or 2 rules. Number 1, don't punch her.
Yeah, you can't, like, because that's what guys do. We punch girls. I mean, it's so great. Like, Tarantino does not flinch from the details.
He's like, don't leave any marks on her.
Don't leave any mark. But you can come inside her as much as you want because her plumbing doesn't work.
That's right. So gross.
Like what, the nurse that comes to clean her up the next morning is not going to realize,
So gross.
But, Buck, who likes to fuck, is an expert, so he has Vaseline with him. And he goes, look, she can be dry as sandpaper, so here's some... I mean, the details, all this stuff, that's what makes these movies so great. I mean, we're talking about the underbelly of society, unflinching in the details. And I love the fact that Tarantino's writing this stuff, and I'm like, where do you get this stuff, dude? It's fantastic. And then what happens?
So he proceeds to try to, do his thing. And she bites his lip. I mean, she bites his lip clear off.
Oh, yeah.
And he's drenched in blood.
And then she probably does something else to him because it kills him. Biting someone's
lip. Yeah, whatever
off.
She does, they don't show it, but they just show her biting his lip. And she does something else to him, and he's dead on the ground. But she can't walk, so she falls out of the bed and she inches her way to the door.
But she also realizes that she's no longer pregnant. When she wakes up, she's horrified that that was another thing we didn't mention. She was pregnant.
Yes, when she first wakes up,
she was
she's
shot, she was
sobbing because she sees that she's not.
And by the way, Uma Thurman, tour de force performance.
She was
tour de force.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
And she created this character.
Right, with Quentin.
Well, she came up with the character and then they developed her together. But she came up with the idea when they were doing Pulp Fiction.
And I have to say, her cry when she realizes her baby's gone, that was some amazing acting.
Amazing.
And she's amazing the whole movie.
So good. So good. It's too bad she had so many problems on making these films that was it. She was done. But anyway.
She's back now, though.
Is she?
Yeah, she's come back. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that she was a little abused on this movie, to be honest.
She was pretty abused.
But for somebody who came up with the character, she should know what was coming down the pike. Maybe.
Well, come on. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. Come on, man.
I mean, he did some crazy shit just to get shots.
No, yes, he did, but he's Quentin Tarantino, and we're all the better for it.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be abusing people.
I don't think so either. But you got the shots. It's in the can. Oh my God. I know, terrible. But anyway, so Buck, who likes to fuck, comes in, finds his customer dead on the floor.
Right, and she's behind the door at this point. And she slices his ankles.
Achilles tendon.
She slice.
And he falls down.
Yeah.
And then it's so great. She keeps banging his head in the doorway. And he's like, stop banging my head in the doorway.
Where's Bill? Where's Bill? I don't know Bill.
But he doesn't know. She doesn't know where she is. Can you imagine to be this discombobulated? Yeah. She finds out she's got metal in her head.
Yeah.
Her baby's gone.
She felt the metal plate in her head.
Yeah, her baby's gone.
Her baby's gone.
She has no idea what's happened.
The guy's been raping her and bringing dudes to rape her for 4 years, which she has a flashback and she remembers Buck, who likes to fuck, when she sees his tattoo that says fuck on his
yeah yeah.
And so she remembers this and she really gives it to him, cracks his head, and that's it. He's gone. Buck is gone. He can no longer fuck.
Buck is gone. Buck can no longer fuck. Buck got fucked.
Yeah. Well, he deserved it. And so she then takes his keys, and the keychain says
Pussy Wagon.
The Pussy Wagon.
And it's very funny because, again, Quentin Tarantino's humor, I love his humor. And it's very funny. She's got herself in a wheelchair and she's wheeling through And she's like, how am I going to find the pussy wagon? How am I going to find the pussy
Right,
wagon?
right. She's like in the parking garage,
And it's
she's like looking, and you can tell she's like, how am I going to find this? And there it is.
Well, the camera shot? She rolls into frame and she turns, and the camera's looking at her, and it holds for a really long time, but it's the perfect length of time. Tarantino and Sally, it's so good.
It's so good.
And when you cut the reverse, and it says "Pussy Wagon" on, it's
like this pink truck
yellow
with yellow
with the pink,
words.
It's a yellow truck with the pink. Yeah, with the pink words. Yeah, it is.
I thought it was pink with yellow words.
Or
it's yellow with pink words.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and black.
Okay, yellow with pink words that say "Pussy Wagon," and on the front of it are flames.
I know, and what's so great about it is even when Michael Bowen is dead, Quentin Tarantino is still illuminating for you the kind of character Buck Who Likes to Fuck is. Yeah. Like, this guy works at a hospital. He's a nurse. He has people's lives in his...
And he does that. He works there just to fuck people.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, it's not... You don't always have someone who's in a coma for 4 years.
Well, he even says it. That's what I'm here for.
Well, that could be.
So anyway, she finds the pussy wagon. She drags herself into the back seat. And
Quentin Tarantino is a world-renowned foot fetishist.
Oh.
And there has never been a better example.
Okay.
He's written himself the
see.
ultimate foot fetish scene.
But Uma's feet are not very attractive, I have to say.
Yeah, they're a little gangly.
Well, she's very tall. She is really tall.
That's not to say she's not very beautiful, because she is
gorgeous. She's gorgeous, but her feet, I don't know.
Yeah, they're a little all over the place.
They're not the prettiest feet.
But I think that's kind of part of it. I mean, the camera is lingering on her feet. Move your big toe. Move your big toe.
And she's there for hours telling herself to move her big toe. And they cut away at that point because there's plenty of time to tell some of the story while she's trying to get her toes to move, which I thought was a pretty neat way to do that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And so, what part of the story do they tell at this point?
O-Ren Ishii.
Right.
And then we cut, not to be outdone.
Well, I think at this point that she explains who the five are. The five, what are they called?
The Deadly Viper Assassination Squad.
Yeah. And is that when she goes into O-Ren's story?
Yeah. And then you're watching this movie, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's have an anime sequence, and let's go into, because why not? I mean, Tarantino's he's exploring all of these genres of movies. I mean, the classical idea of a revenge story has existed since the dawn of time.
Right.
So he has flat out said, he's like, look, this movie is a revenge tale. That's all it is. This is not some allegorical story about how, we're all supposed to be more self-actualized as people. This woman was wrong, and she's going to kill the motherfuckers that did it.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And he said it, that's what it's about. There is no deeper meaning to this. I'm going to make the ultimate revenge story. But because he's paying this whole movie, Kill Bill Part 1 is an entire homage to all of the Eastern influences. He's like, hey, man, time for an anime scene.
That's right. So they tell O-Ren's story of what happened to her when she was little.
Now, O-Ren Ishii, her code name is Cottonmouth, because they're all named after the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. So it's all versions of vipers.
Yep.
And it turns out that her father was a military man, lived on a military base, and she grew up Japanese and Chinese.
I think we forgot a scene.
It doesn't matter. We did. We
forgot when Daryl Hannah comes to the hospital to
oh yeah, we did forget that.
Kill her.
Well, why don't you fill in that you didn't know it was Daryl Hannah?
I did not know
you
until
watched this movie twice.
The credits were rolling and they're like Daryl Hannah, and I was like, where was Daryl Hannah? I didn't see her.
Ellie, we did forget that scene, by the way. Ellie Driver. No, this is important. We should go back to this. So Ellie Driver, California California Mountain Snake. That's a California Mountain Snake. Ellie Driver, who is actually her character, is based on the look of her character, kind of like later on in the movie, the Game of Death suit she's wearing. Ellie Driver is based on a character in a movie that was released in America called They Call Her One Eye. But it's a Swedish movie called Thriller, A Cruel Picture, which, by the way, I own. I have the original version, which you will never see.
Why? It's terrible?
No, it's not terrible. It's fucking hardcore.
Ooh.
And the Swedish version, when I say it's hardcore, the American version's edited. The Swedish version is literally hardcore. It's about a poor girl who's kidnapped, hooked on heroin, sold into she's being a hooker, and there is hardcore sex in it.
Oh, no.
I'd never seen... No, it's fucking hardcore. So Ellie Driver with the one eye is
Right.
based on... They call her One Eye. So California...
And I did not recognize her, and she's always played really nice girls in nice roles. So I did not recognize her. She's like this badass, she's like the most vicious, badass assassin in the group, and so I did not even recognize that was Daryl Hannah. I did not recognize her.
I'm glad you reminded me of this because I can't believe we skipped over it. Because so Ellie Driver goes to poison and by the way, this
is before she wakes up.
Yeah, this is 4 years previous
right after she yes.
So and Ellie Driver calls Bill calls her and says, "What's going on?" She's like, "I'm in her room. I'm about to kill her." And David Carradine, who, by the way, goes completely unseen in Kill Bill Part 1.
Right.
And he has a samurai sword, and he says, "Look, you know what? The fact that she lived through all this, let her live."
Yeah.
Because he knows one day she's going to come after us. And I think in his mind, he's like, let's keep it interesting. She does not deserve to be poisoned in her sleep.
Right.
She deserves better. We deserve to give her better. Because we don't find out yet, but he loves her and everything. So Ellie Driver leaves.
Yeah, she's disappointed, but she leaves.
And again, Ellie Driver's music, the music that she's whistling is a theme from another film.
The whistling.
Sorry. Anyway, I think it's Bernard Herrmann, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But anyway, so she lets her go. She doesn't kill her. And then we go back, and now she gets what we've already described.
Right.
Now we're at O-Ren Ishii's story.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding us. It's the rum. So, and then we're back to O-Ren Ishii's backstory. So we get the whole backstory of Lucy Liu's character of O-Ren Ishii, Cottonmouth,
right?
Who's half Chinese and half Japanese,
born on an American
military base.
Yes. So her father's military
in Tokyo.
Yeah. So her father's military for the Americans, and so this whole anime sequence is about how some guys Yakuza come to kill her father.
And by the way, this anime sequence is badass. I mean,
and it's long. It's not like a short little.
No, it's long, and
long.
She's hiding under the bed.
Yeah, so they come and they kill her father, and she's under the bed, and he falls right where she.
That's the mother. The father gets killed after a huge fight.
Yeah, and he falls, dying, and he sees her under the bed.
Oh, that part, yes.
And then she watches him die. And then they bring the mother in, and they put her on the bed, and he uses his samurai sword and skewers her all the way through the bed. And she's under the bed, and it barely misses her shoulder. And then the blood starts dripping down, her mother's blood.
Beautiful sequence,
onto her face. It's like so moving and sad.
And then she grows up and becomes like an assassin at 11. And the guy who killed
her parents is a pedophile.
And like she's like in bed with him.
She's like straddling him.
She's straddling him.
And then,
I mean, again, Tarantino pulls no punches.
She has like a sword in him, and she asks him, "Do you know who I am? Do you recognize me?" And then she like tears him open and guts him.
She guts him.
She guts him.
And then we have one of my favorite. You cut to the live action scene, and you find out that O-Ren Ishii took over the Tokyo underworld, and she's now become the boss of bosses. And there's a great, whether it's a scene from Spectre or The Godfather, you've got all the bosses of the Tokyo Yakuza underworld. And she has ascended to...
She's their leader.
Their leader, and I guess it's Boss Tanaka.
Yeah.
One of the bosses whose father started this quorum of...
Yeah, he's upset. He's upset because there's an American...
Chinese, Japanese half-breed
that's leading them. And she calmly walks up to him and then chops his head off.
Well, she gets up and runs when...
Well, she's calm through the whole thing. Well, let him speak. He's upset. Let him say what he needs to say. And then when he says it, then she runs over to him and chops his head off.
And can I just say that I'm obsessed with Japan. I've been obsessed with Japan my whole life. The actors they have to play, like the casting in this movie is so great.
It is.
And all, like, I don't know what, the sounds, the mob boss. It's so, like, I have loved, if there's one thing, if somebody said to me, Rob, if there's one skill that you don't possess in life, what skill would you want? It would be to speak Japanese. I would, and read it. I mean, I would like to be fluent in Japanese, if you ask me. I mean, assuming it's not a superpower. But if I could do anything, like, I want to talk to my 7 samurai figures back here in Japanese. If I could speak Japanese, because my favorite language to listen to. I mean, I understand the romance languages and all that, but from a cinematic standpoint.
Not even French?
I love hearing French, babe. French is beautiful. I love hearing Italian. But from somebody, as a kid to me, the greatest, like, alien language on the planet. Because French and Italian, I come from French and Italian. Like, I came from European stock. So French and Italian are part of I am removed from Japan. I have no Asian blood in me. And to me, the ultimate alien language for a white boy like myself, if I could speak Japanese, what are you doing? Like, are you just doing it? I would love to be able to.
You do it. You do a good job.
I am making this shit up. I would love to be able to know, and then I would also be able to, like, to read, like, if I look in, let's see, let me look in my, that's not a good
in your magic
example.
drawer.
Well, I was looking in a drawer, like, look. So here is instructions to a metal build Gundam that I own that's up there in the Robservatory. They're all in Japanese. And, like, you open these up, and it shows all... If I could just read these instructions...
Yeah, but it's got pictures so that you know.
I know, but I don't know.
So you snap that onto that, and then you snap that onto that.
I don't know. I just want to be able to do it.
It's like IKEA instructions.
No, it's not. It's not the same. What about all my Japanese model kits? When I have to wire the Space Battleship Yamato, it's all in Japanese.
It's intuitive. It's intuitive.
Look, all I can tell you is that I just want to be able to speak Japanese. If the Matrix ever happens, I'm learning how to speak Japanese. I want to watch Kurosawa's The Seven Samurai with no subtitles.
That'll never happen.
Rashomon, Ron, Ikiru, High and Low.
Good luck with that, babe.
I know, sorry. Just saying. Anyway, so she takes his head, I'll take your fucking head. And she's like, if you talk about my heritage, that's the one no-go area.
You can bring up anything, any complaint, but if you talk about that, I'm taking your head.
I'm taking your head.
Yeah.
And what, what's really funny about the way this movie's told? O-Ren Ishii is actually the first person she goes after, if you look at it chronologically.
Yeah, he jumps around in time.
And it's great.
Which is brilliant. I think it brings the story together so well.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping around like that. Because it leaves a lot of mystery. It makes it mysterious.
Well, that's the thing. And but it makes it mysterious in a way that it's he doesn't make the traveling through time annoying like a lot of people.
No.
He understands. Tarantino, as a writer and a director, even though he's jumping around in time, that keeps you interested and all that.
It does.
But he's giving you information the whole time.
He's giving you gold nuggets along the way.
And it's delicious.
It is delicious.
It's delicious. Let's hear it for Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Who, by the way,
amazing storyteller.
sat in front of me at the Hawaii Film Festival and saw Free Enterprise and quartered me at a party for an hour and a half and talked to me. He'd memorized all of William Shatner's lines. And for an hour and a half,
You're kidding? Why doesn't he finance?
Come on, man.
Come
That's
on, man.
not how Hollywood works.
Quentin, if you're watching this, we need to buy back Free Enterprise.
No, anyway.
I know he's watching.
Quentin Tarantino's not watching this. Although I will say this.
Maybe.
That was the second time.
Maybe he is.
That was the second time I'd met Quentin Tarantino. The first time was at a Dario Argento film festival at the Raleigh Cinemas, where he didn't have a ticket to go see, I think, Deep Red. And I said, here, take my ticket. I gave him my ticket, and he went in, and I just sat outside for a couple hours, and I didn't get to see that. But it was okay. I saw the rest of the movies.
What?
Those are my two experiences with Quentin Tarantino.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I mean, he's amazing.
He is amazing.
And I hope he doesn't retire. He says he's going to make one more movie and then he's out. I hope not.
How could a brilliant mind like that? He owes it to the world to give us his talent.
What, 25 years since... Reservoir Dogs is 1992.
He's not old. Come on, man. He's got to do it until he dies.
Yeah, but now he's a father married to a hot French model.
So what? That doesn't mean he has to stop making movies.
Well, I think his impetus for making movies has been a little curtailed by the hot French model.
Okay, he can take like 10 years off, but he's got to make more movies.
Well, he's going to write a novel. He's writing 2 books.
Which will lead to movies. He cannot resist making movies. He's got to make movies.
Well, I hope so.
When you have a talent like that, you owe it to the world to give us your talent.
Well, I agree. I agree. So now that we know O-Ren Ishii's backstory, we get to basically the extended climax of the movie, which is, first of all, the first place we go is to Okinawa.
Right.
We go to Okinawa and...
well, after she kills Vivica Fox, she gets on a plane, right? No. This is a flashback because she kills O-Ren before she kills...
No, babe.
I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, she was our first one.
Now we have... it's a flashback.
Right, it's a flashback. So
now we are going to chapters The Man from Okinawa.
Well, she gets her feet moving.
Yes.
Okay, after the anime sequence, she gets her feet moving, and she drives to the airport. Or she...
well, she's got to get her legs. She has to train or whatever.
Right. Well, anyway, when she's able to walk,
months go by or whatever. So she rehabilitates herself. She can walk. She goes to Okinawa. And I have to say, all the violence and all that, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the great Sonny Chiba as Hattori Hanzo!
He's awesome.
I mean, it is... first of all, the fact that it's Sonny Chiba, the Street Fighter. By the way, things that we forget, I just would like to point out, that Buck Who Likes to Fuck has the same gold Elvis glasses that Clarence Worley, has in True Romance.
I haven't seen it.
I know. You haven't seen True Romance, which people are going to be like, what? You haven't seen True Romance? You have to watch... Anyway... The Man from Okinawa, there is a protracted scene where, and this is even cooler than lightsabers, are having a Hattori Hanzo handmade sword, folding the steel. But we don't know that yet. So the bride goes to Okinawa.
She goes to Okinawa, and she walks into this restaurant, sushi restaurant, and proceeds to...
And there's a very funny scene.
It's so funny. He's yelling at his assistant to get her tea, and they yell at each other back and
speak
forth.
like a Japanese.
They have this funny back and forth about her Japanese, and she pretends like she doesn't speak back Japanese, only a few words.
And then she changes the tone of her voice, and I'm here to see Hattori Hanzo. And it's such a cool scene because you're loving... I mean, Sonny Chiba is a great comedian. He's being funny and all that. and then the scene changes, and it just goes into Japanese, and then I have to stop and back up.
Stop, rewind.
With the Japanese version to
put on the subtitles, play it again.
Yeah, but worth it. Worth it. And you find out that, I mean, it's so great. and the great thing about it is, real samurai swords, look, everything in Japan, whether it's books or movies, CDs, whatever, they're always better if they're Japanese. So samurai swords are the best in the world. They always have been. And the fact that this guy is like the Jedi master of swords, and you have to fold, and he said, like, 28 years ago, I swore a blood oath. I would never, these are things that kill. And but she tells him, she goes, you owe me. You owe me, and I'm going to go kill Bill, a former protege of Hattori Hanzo, who probably taught him how to. And there's a great bit where he tests her. He throws a baseball at her, like he takes her upstairs to see his.
Right.
And the
She's
music,
looking at all the swords.
The music, this weird chord.
Yeah, the music is great.
It's so awesome.
It's like a pan flute.
Yeah, and you see the whole the wall of swords.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I want one for sale, and can I buy one?"
Well, he's like, the second one down, so she takes it and she opens it up, takes it out of its.
And this is his test.
And he throws the baseball at her, and she slices it.
She slices a baseball in half, and I love it's a baseball because the Japanese love baseball. They acquired that from Americans, and what do we love? Samurai movies, samurai swords. You know. Bless you, babe. Bless you. Here.
I don't have corona. I have allergies. Those are allergies.
Well, we've been on lockdown for anyway.
Yeah, she says, "Well, how much?" He's like, "Those are not for sale."
Sentimental value.
And that's when she says that she needs a sword to kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Or she doesn't even say his name. She's like, "It's someone you know," and then he writes on the window.
Yeah, and he does the great Japanese dot over the eye, the character, and it's great.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's going to take a month, so you better
practice.
During that time, you can be practicing.
And I actually get emotional in this movie. I do when like this scene makes me emotional, and I think, look, it's goofy. The fact that she's writing, here's my kill list in my little notebook. And she writes it up, and in this, it's like he has to write on the window in big, in like kid letters, Bill.
And then she erases it.
Yeah, and then doesn't quite do a good job and does the, But it's Sonny Chiba, the fact that Quentin Tarantino was growing up watching Street Fighter, and in True Romance's sister Street Fighter, 3 Street Fighter movies, that he went and got Sonny Chiba. And now here's another thing. Quentin Tarantino went and found, when they made this movie, the different kinds of blood. Because every movie has different blood mixtures. They're fake blood.
Yes.
So he even got the right mixture of fake blood for various scenes.
Jeez. He's just too much.
It's the greatest thing ever. Like Heat Miser. He's too much. Anyway, we're going to have a Heat Christmas. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. Pasadena. I'm Mr. 101. Anyway, so she gets the Hattori Hanzo sword, which is the equivalent of getting, your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. Your father's lightsaber. Your father's lightsaber. What if Sean Connery was Obi-Wan
in
Kenobi?
Star Wars?
I don't know.
That'd be great.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.
Where's my Zed?
I don't know, babe. I don't know. Anyway, so then she flies from Okinawa to Tokyo.
She goes to Tokyo to get O-Ren.
Mm. Now, what's really cool is that the piece of music, bum bum bum.
Yes.
That piece of music is from a series of films called Battles Without Honor or Humanity. Wait a minute, I'm getting it wrong. Which were directed, I have the box set over there, which were directed by Kenji Fukasaku, who this movie is dedicated to. So that piece of Battles Without Honor,
such a great piece
Battles
of
Without
music.
Honor or Humanity, and the version of it is so great. I mean, it's so it's been used a million times since this movie, but
Yeah.
that piece of music may be one of the coolest pieces of music ever.
I agree. One of the coolest pieces of music.
It's ever.
Yeah.
And you see the bride clocking O-Ren Ishii's entourage and following her around and all this, and it's only when you get to the House of Blue Leaves sequence when you get that piece of music. But
right.
It's the 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's
Well,
the name of the band.
first of all, they explain her entourage. So she has a bodyguard who's 17 and named
Gogo Yabari,
Gogo, who is like this insane.
who is played by an
girl.
actress from Battle Royale, which was directed by Kenji Fukasaku, who this movie is dedicated to.
How perfect.
Yes. Who directed Battles Without Honor and Humanity, where this piece of music is from. So there's all kinds
perfect.
of... The honors of more. Fantastic.
I love when you do that, babe.
So do I. I just wish I could speak. Fantasm.
That's good enough. I love it. And then they also introduce her lawyer, who is half French,
Sophie Fatale.
half French, half Japanese.
Julie Dreyfus. O-Ren's lawyer, confidant, and second lieutenant. By the way, who was present when the bride was shot, and that's who she sees.
Oh, she was there.
She was in the church, talking on the phone. Mushi mushi. She was doing business while the bride and those 9 people were slaughtered.
Jeez Louise. No
But
wonder.
she's hot, though.
She's gorgeous.
And she's French and Japanese.
Right?
Sophie, and her name is Sophie Fatale.
Gorgeous.
Why don't you tell Sophie she should change her last name to
Fatale?
Yeah. Then we'd have our own Kill Bill action figure all the time. Tell her to go into business.
That's right.
So.
Okay, so then what happens?
Well, and then, of course, there's the whole House of Blue Leaves sequence, which
Right.
is this... I mean...
Which is why we watched your Japanese version,
Yeah.
was for this scene.
You've got a barefoot Japanese girl band, the 5, 6, 7, 8.
I love it.
Woohoo, woohoo. I mean, they're playing, there's like 50s Bobby Soxers dancing.
Yeah.
The proprietor of this place
Yeah,
is dressed like Charlie Brown.
He's like Charlie Brown, and the owner and the manager, and he's dressed like Charlie Brown. They call him Charlie Brown. And when she gets there with her entourage, and they're wearing masks, and
Well, the Crazy 88, her entourage is like, and she's surrounded by, now I don't know the story about, they're all introduced as these characters, her inner circle of,
right, her inner circle.
and they're like insane Japanese Yakuza killers. Like, and if you, there's a whole genre of films from Japan called Pinky Violence movies. Which, would you be surprised?
I know you have them.
I have them. Yes, I
Weren't
do.
those the ones you brought to that party?
Yes.
Okay.
Boy, was I not popular when I showed trailers for the Pinky. Why did you tell? I showed all of your Adventist friends. I'm like, hey, look.
Well, okay. One of my friends is Japanese, and she doesn't like, she can't handle violent films. So when you brought these films
I
over,
didn't know that.
You didn't know that, right? So while we were all digging it, she was like,
I thought I would bring some awesome Japanese exploitation, sex and violence, the Pinky Violence films. I have a Pinky Violence box set, and then I've got a bunch of other.
Meanwhile, our other friends were like, oh, these are so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have a large collection of Japanese exploitation films from the 70s. Lady Snowblood, yeah. Boy, they were not. These were women in prison movies.
Yeah, she didn't dig them.
A beautiful Arrow box set. Female Scorpion. Yeah, she didn't dig it.
Sorry, Kat.
Yeah, she wasn't that. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't like them. Anyway, where were we?
Oh, well, anyway, so we're in this awesome nightclub where you got Bobby Soxers dancing to an all-girl barefoot band, and then O-Ren Ishii's team of bodyguards come in, and even Charlie Brown and his manager, wife or whatever, I always thought they were married, or something.
I think she owns the place.
She does.
And he is the manager.
And they hate when they come in because they want things like pepperoni pizzas and they don't make
we don't make pepperoni pizzas. Well, bring us pepperoni pizzas. But... And
then the first thing that happens is the bride comes in. She's in the bathroom changing. She gets out of her motorcycle jacket and she's wearing Bruce Lee's outfit from Game of Death.
She's wearing the coolest outfit ever.
Bruce Lee's outfit. And she hears Sophie Fatale in the bathroom.
Right. And she takes her hostage, basically, and brings her out and calls out...
O-Ren Ishii calls her out. And then begins like this long, protracted... It's so much fun. I mean, and with the Japanese version, in the American version, it cuts to black and white.
Yeah, I haven't seen that version
it's
ever.
edited, and I understand. I mean, I can't imagine. First of all, can I just say that it is a damn shame that the DVD of the Blu-ray of Kill Bill 1 is not, because you saw the Blu-ray of Kill Bill 2 is the transfers are beautiful. Now I have the American Kill Bill. I never watched the American Kill Bill 1. I don't. I only watch my Japanese.
What we should have done was watch it all the way up until that scene and then put in the Japanese disc to see that scene.
Well, I didn't think about that, but you're correct.
That would have been a better way to watch it.
It would have been dope. We should have done it that way. I didn't think about that. Because then you have to change my region coding on the, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but it's also a pain in the ass that you kept having to switch the...
It was.
The subtitles on and then switch them off.
But I'm also very protective of the fact that I actually have that Kill Bill disc.
Oh,
how many guys in LA...
Amazing that you have
How many guys in LA could you be dating that actually have the Japanese DVD of the original version of Kill Bill? Don't answer that because I'm sure 10 people I know are going to be like, me. So, okay. I know, right? I can be cast aside.
You're going to be cast aside.
None of this matters.
Why would I cast you aside? You have the version.
Yeah, but someone else is going to come and say, Elysabeth, I have that version too. And I've got the action figure of the bride in 6 scale. And guess what? I've got a custom Zed.
Oh, now we're talking.
I know. Now you'll be out the door. Whoa. Oh, okay, then. We're out the door. All right.
Just kidding. I'm not with you because of your action figures, babe. Don't worry.
That much is clear. I understand. Maybe you're with me for the 6th scale Herman Mechanic.
Yes.
McKink
I'm
rocking
with you
machine.
For this.
Yeah.
For the big one that you have. Where is it?
No.
Is it in the...
Oh, you mean the actual life? No, we can't. That's Clockwork Orange. We already did that movie. Come on now.
You picked it up. What is it doing right here on your desk?
Well, because Alex.
What are you doing with it on your desk? It's sitting here with Sean Connery.
Okay, stop that. There's nothing going on untoward there. It's just, look, Alec fell down and fell off. He's over here.
Oh, poor Alec.
Alex,
I mean.
Alec is a different guy.
Yeah.
Who would have more use for that than I would.
But
anyway, so yeah. Anyway, House of Blue Leaves
How much
sequence.
wine have you given me?
Hey, we got another bottle and it's still another movie to do. All right. Well, that's what people expected from the 100th show. Like, my God. So anyway, the House of Blue Leaves sequence becomes one of the most insane. It's an homage to Shogun Assassin, to every Japanese samurai movie.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful, hell's a poppin', crimson, just drenched, blood-drenched scene.
I love it when the heads get chopped off and the blood spurts out.
Well, it's right after the whole, it's very Shogun Assassin. Or when somebody gets cut all the way down the middle.
It's split in half.
No, it's just the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fighting is amazing. And once again, Uma Thurman is so badass.
And there's wire work in it. It bends credibility. I mean, verisimilitude. But I love it.
All crazy 88 show up, and she kills every single one of or she hurts every single one of them.
I mean, but even the battle with Gogo Yubari, like when she's fighting Gogo Yubari, and she's like,
she almost kills her. And this is part of one of the things that that Quentin did to her that she was one of the reasons why she didn't want to work with him anymore. But the scene where Gogo is choking her with the chain, it was actually Quentin doing that to Uma, actually choking her with the chain. And you can see it in her face. Her eyes are bulging and they're all red. It was like him actually using the chain and choking her.
That's disturbing.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, obviously you did your research.
But of course, like he asked her and she said yes, but I guess she didn't realize how intense it would be.
Right, and it's not like the car crash from fucking part 2.
Yeah, the car crash too, that's what sent her over the top.
We haven't even got there yet.
No. But anyway, the things he does to get
the shot. But it's all about the art. Like no one cares about what happened in the moment. All we care about is now we can watch this movie 17 years later and talk about how awesome it is.
It's so awesome.
So,
it is so awesome.
And the whole battle scene goes on and on and on, and it is so great. And
it's great. And then
there are little vignettes with like the little kid and Gogo Yubari.
Kid, she slaps him on the ass. She's like, "Go home to your mother." I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, in the middle of all this, he does not. There's character moments and there's funny things, and then we get Lucy Liu. Yeah.
She finally has killed everyone or gotten them out of the way, and she goes after Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
And
who's out back.
Opens up the doors and is outside.
And again, I gotta say, what's so great about the last sequence of that is it's clearly on a set. But it's a beautiful set with the snow coming down.
The snow is coming down. It's nighttime, and it's beautiful. And Lucy Liu's all dressed in white.
And what's great is all the characters, all the Deadly Viper assassination squad, the fact that she's got the ultimate lightsaber. She's got a custom-made Hattori Hanzo sword. He hasn't made it. They all respect that. Like, even though all these people try to kill her, there's still this, well,
at first she tries to shame her. And then she apologizes for shaming her when she's about to die.
But I think that what Quentin Tarantino did in this film that is not to be trifled with is that he injected this whole code. Like there's the Bushido code, there's the Yakuza code. He brought back the idea of a code. Mm-hmm. And even though the Hattori Hanzo thing, like even the John Wick films have brought back this entire mysterious world. They've created their own sort of fantasy realm that assassins exist in. All of this, I think, can be traced back to, well, you can't say traced back to Kill Bill because Quentin Tarantino is taking it out of Japanese culture. And one of the reasons I love Japanese culture is as a kid when I saw Shogun in 1980 and all of that, there's something about the traditions of Japanese culture that endure. Klingons, Ron Moore's Klingons are just inspired by that. Yeah. And that's one.
I think we've lost some of that now. It's like we've lost, just being respectful to each other is a code that we've completely lost. So watching this kind of code in a film is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and like, it's interesting. Michael Mann is making a show called Tokyo Vice that is actually based on a book that I read about a reporter who went undercover with the Yakuza. It's a nonfiction book. Really great. And it made me, I'm just wondering, is it up there somewhere? It's close. But not to saying that I wanted to join the Yakuza, but there's something about having a code. And there is that. These assassins have a code. There's something going on.
Yeah.
And Lucy Liu, like Bill says to Ellie Driver, look, this woman survived. We're not going to kill her in her sleep.
Right.
That could have gotten rid of a lot of problems. But there's no way that he was going to be a punk ass and let her die. Somebody of her quality. You don't let someone like that die. You don't kill them in their sleep. Because if you do that, you're the one that's damned.
Right.
You're the one that fucks up. You could, you can eliminate the problem. And I think nowadays in America, we don't have a code anymore.
There's no code.
We don't live up to truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah. We will fuck over our brothers, sisters, friends if we can get money.
No, it's true.
And I think
there's no more code.
And I think that there's probably no code in a lot of things, but I'd like to believe that, you know what it is? A code means you have culture. A code means that you have tradition. And I think that matters. And I think that I love that the whole idea of these swords, like in this modern age, it makes no sense that anybody has a sword. Nor I mean, it's Harrison Ford. It's the swordsman. It's like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You kill everybody with a sword, and yet in this film, people are like, nope, we're gonna have a sword fight. We're gonna fight with bladed weapons.
Right.
And one of my favorite movies growing up was The Warriors, which is a gang movie in New York. And in that film, guns were shown to be the most pussified weapons you could use.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you used a gun, you were a fucking punk. You needed to get up and scrap. You needed to fight with a knife. You needed to get up right in someone's face. If you used a gun, you were a, can I say pussy and not be offensive?
I mean, we did say pussy wagon a million times.
Well, that's what it said. So I guess and it was awesome the way that, now 10 years later, well, 9 years later, you go to a movie like New Jack City, where all the gangs in New York, they're all strapped, they're all carrying machine guns, they shoot people from afar. There's no honor in that. And the whole point is that in this ecosystem, killing matters. It means something.
Yeah. But, in this film, being a pussy means you are a badass.
Well, yes. I mean, this movie is all about female empowerment.
Yes.
I think this movie is incredibly proactive, and it's also pro-life, really, if you think about it. I mean, in terms from a mother's perspective, it's a movie about mothers and daughters. At the end of the day,
it is a movie about mothers and daughters.
I'm just saying. So you could look at this as being an uplifting film, and I think so. So O-Ren Ishii and the bride have we don't know her name.
We don't know her name.
Her name has been
absolutely.
absolutely. I mean,
they
Tarantino
bleep it out.
literally in the middle of the movie. It's like, and it's not even like a beep. It's like a cool electronic beeping noise, and it happens multiple times in this movie.
Multiple times.
So.
Okay, where were we?
Well.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, the Lucy Liu scene.
They have a fight, and it's not like a big fight or anything. It's more symbolic.
It is very symbolic, and
she cuts off. She Krendler from Hannibal, the book Hannibal, just takes off the top, exposes her brain, like Ray Liotta in Hannibal.
Whew, yeah.
It's awesome.
Takes off the top of her head.
I'll take your fucking head. Well, she took the top of O-Ren Ishii's head.
She did.
And then she drops Sophie Fatale off, she's cut off both.
Right, she has cut off Sophie's arm, and now she has taken her into her trunk and tells her there are two reasons why I've kept you alive. One is so that you can tell Bill everything that I'm telling you right now. And two is to find out, what did she want to find out?
Piece of information. I want him to know that you know that I know.
Yeah, that I know that he knows that you know that I know that.
Yeah.
So then she takes her to a hospital and just rolls her down the hill into the hospital.
Yep.
And
then the last scene is Bill is off screen where Sophie Fatale, armless, is being kept alive. My beautiful Sophie, you've been made.
Yeah, and he's stroking her face. All you see is him stroking her face. You don't see him. And
he says to her, does she know her daughter is still alive?
Yeah, and that's where it ends.
Wow, which is such a great cliffhanger ending.
Such a great
Now
ending.
we have to wait a fucking year.
But I didn't.
You didn't have to wait a fucking year.
I only had to wait like a minute or two.
A minute or two. Well, you know what now we get to do? We get to look at people are sending in things and read letters. Being that this is our 100th extravaganza episode, and who knows when it will end.
Spectacular.
So, would you be surprised that Black Philip Alvarez wrote us a letter?
I am not surprised. Can you move that down just a little bit?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Black Philip Alvarez says, greetings once again, Rob, Elysabeth, and my fellow Post-Geek Singularity. Post-Geek Singularity? I'm thinking post-production. Back with another letter, this time on Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Congrats again on episode 100, and I can't think of two better films to cover for 100.
Right?
Whomever recommended this deserves a six-pack from me.
Me, but I don't drink beer.
But first, allow me to talk about the director, Quentin Tarantino. He is most certainly my favorite modern director. Sorry, Nolan fans. Oh, no. Tarantino's way more talented than Christopher Nolan. I truly feel his resume doesn't have one bad film on it. It does not. Every movie is different, yet has that trademark Tarantino dialogue, and you know it's a Tarantino movie the moment you start watching. Quentin Tarantino movies are an event, a world that you can just disappear in or wish you could be a part of. No one can write the way Quentin Tarantino does. He brings out the best of any actor in his films. Perhaps that's why 3 performances have won Oscars. Christoph Waltz won for both Inglourious Basterds and Django Unchained, while just last year Brad Pitt won an Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was for his abs, though. I also love how he pretty much jumpstarts the careers of old school actors like John Travolta, David Carradine, and Robert Forster. Tarantino, to me, is simply a fanboy who gets to make the movies he wants. No, that is definitely not an insult by any means. It is not. He gets the best actors and can use music like no other to help drive the story. Anytime a new Tarantino movie would be announced, you easily anticipate it. I don't think any other director has that kind of momentum except perhaps Nolan, Spielberg, Fincher, or Scorsese. Although you always know what Quentin Tarantino is going to deliver, while the others mentioned can still be a hit or miss, I eagerly await the next movie Quentin Tarantino plans on doing, whether it's that rumored R-rated Star Trek or Kill Bill Volume 3, where you have 2 daughters who grow up to fight. No matter what he does, I will watch it. I don't believe for one second that he plans to retire after 10 films. Me neither. Part of me believes that he finally wants that Best Director Oscar. He does. Now on to the films that are the subject of the episode 100. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. Still such a great choice, really, but I like to think of them as one film. They were. Although they're very much 2 different films, Volume 1 is essentially being a revenge flick and an homage to the Shaw Brothers flicks. Volume 2 is a film noir and a spaghetti western, which makes sense considering how over-the-top Volume 1 is. I'm not ashamed to say that Kill Bill, in my opinion, is top 3 as far as Tarantino films, behind Pulp Fiction and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yes, I love the latter film that much. But Quentin Tarantino films are very hard to rank because they're all so good. Yes, even Death Proof, which I know he doesn't care for. Besides Tarantino, obviously, the other reason these films work is the performance of Uma Thurman as the bride, later revealed to be as beep. You easily sympathize with this character and you want her to get revenge because of what was done to her. An assassin who was betrayed by her own Viper squad and left for dead. After waking from what I believe to be a 5-year coma, 4 years, all she wants to do is get revenge on those who wanted her dead, including Bill, whom she saved for last. The movie is a slow burn, but it's done purposely in order to get the audience to gain sympathy for the bride and root for her to get the revenge she so badly wants. The scenes where she asks for the Hattori Hanzo sword to be made are so well done. Let's do her! A man of peace who now has to make the sword used to kill people once again. Once the bride leaves Okinawa with the Hanzo sword is when the movie becomes just a straight-up kung fu film. Yes, I know I didn't mention her first kill with the Vivica Fox character, although well done. You knew it was coming. I do hope the daughter is the subject of Kill Bill Volume 3. Now, one of my favorite scenes in this film is told while the bride is sitting in the back of the seat trying to get her lower extremities to function. That's because you're a foot fetishist. Again, we are shown an origin story done in anime style for Lucy Liu's character, O-Ren Ishii. Actually, it's O-Ren Ishii. That's the correct... O-Ren Ishii! A young assassin whose own parents were killed in front of her is the reason for becoming an assassin. The story was well done in anime style since they're very violent scenes, yet so well done and tells her story in such a brilliant way with very little dialogue. Now on to the scene that Volume 1 is known for. The over-the-top, hyper-violent scene with the crazy 88s. A scene so violent it was shown in black and white to avoid an NC-17 rating. Except at our house, where we have the Japanese DVD.
We have it in color.
With more violence, by the way. The fight scene with Gigi through is great and builds up... it's actually Go-Go.
Go-Go.
The fight scene with Go-Go is great and also builds up the main fight. I believe this crazy 88 scene is around 9 or 10 minutes long. So much fun action and over-the-top violence. It's silly in a good way with how blood is shown. The use of music is also great. It's a nice build-up to the final confrontation between the bride and O-Ren, which to me is a lot more subtle than the previous fight scene. It is almost a bit poetic and a satisfying conclusion to Volume 1. But wait, during the credits, it's revealed that by Bill himself that the bride's daughter is still alive and plays a huge role in Volume 2. Now, on to Volume 2. Okay, well, we'll stop there, and we'll come back to your letter. Let's see what people are saying in the chat, shall we?
We shall.
Hang on. We've got Julian Mishkin sends in a tip and says, congrats on reaching 100 shows. Love the content. Question a bit off immediate topic. My wife loves the films of Jacques Tati. Are there any films of his that you would consider candidates for the show? Did we watch The Umbrellas of Cherbourg?
Not for this show.
Not for the show, but you know I have the Jacques Tati box set.
Love
We
those
should watch the
films.
Two Girls of how do you say Roquefort? Is it Rochefort or Roquefort? Like Roquefort dressing?
Yeah.
Is it Roquefort? Is that how you say it? Well, I love The Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
Me too.
Wait, I can't. I'm drinking. La 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 la. I can't do it. La 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 la. Whatever. We love that movie, though, right?
Love it.
I mean,
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I think the films of Jacques Tati are great. I'm a huge fan. I have a box set of his movies,
Yeah.
which means so do you.
Which means so do I.
So do you. That is the Two Girls of Roquefort. Roquefort?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
That we could do that. I think that'd be interesting. You might like
that
it.
would be. That would be very interesting.
Ross Gecko sends in a super chat and says, Quentin Tarantino offered Bill to Warren Beatty, who passed. He did. Carradine was okay, not iconic. Oh, dude.
What?
No.
That is not true.
I totally disagree
That
with
is
you.
not true.
I think Carradine crushes it.
Yeah.
As
Plus,
Bill.
I remember him very young, watching him in what was it called?
Kung
Fu.
Walking the earth like Kane in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what Jules says in Pulp Fiction. It is so perfect for Quentin Tarantino's career that Carradine is playing Bill.
Yes.
He is awesome. He is so badass in this movie. How do you
Yeah, he
think he's
is.
not iconic? His voice, his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Ross.
He has a little lisp.
Jump
too.
in and get with the program.
Maybe he didn't watch Kung Fu when he was a kid.
But no, Beatty offered Jack Horner and Boogie Nights, but passed. But Reynolds was iconic. Burt would have made a great Bill. Thoughts? No. The great thing about Bill, the great thing about Carradine is his kung fu baggage he brings with him his whole life.
Yes.
The fact that he was Frankenstein in Death Race 2000. I mean,
Plus, he was in North and South.
he is so, or the Long Riders. He is so good in this.
He's perfect for it.
Come on, how can he's not iconic? You know what the problem? You know why people say he's not iconic? Because his death scene, his back is to us, and he walks away. Oh, not
And he,
he just falls over.
yeah. You just spoiled.
I know. Well, yeah. Okay. I know. I shouldn't. It's terrible. Justin Toner says, "Congrats on 100 episodes, Rob and Elizabeth. I love the Kill Bill films. I like Volume 1 more than Volume 2. I was reminded of this after rewatching them on another great Zoom watch-along hosted by the Richard.
Awesome.
Here's to another 100 episodes or more. Cheers." I can't. Well, we can cheers. Let's cheer that. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Belta Loda has subscribed to the channel. Well, thank you for subscribing. Tim is here. Timmy the Spider Monkey says, "You mentioned Deep Red, which made me think of this." Oh, yes. Did you hear Daria Nicolodi passed away the other day? I did. I tweeted about this. Daria Nicolodi is Asia Argento's mother. They were married. Daria Argento was married to her. And it was very sad that she died. And she died at 70. Too young.
Wow. That is young.
Sad to hear. Deep Red is my favorite Argento film, mostly because of her performance in it. She's great. We haven't watched an Argento movie. We need to do that. I have a lot of them. John says, "I've never seen these films. They're on my watch soon list, but seeing Elizabeth and Rob describe the films while whining is the best next best thing. Thanks to you and cheers." How can you have not seen the Kill Bill movies?
You have to watch these.
Not that that's a bad. I feel like it's so weird that I have these on the wrong things. We should cut to this camera. It's weird. How can you not?
You have to watch them.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Is it Double Grit? Is that what it was? Double Grit sends in a super chat and says 100 episodes already. Keep it up, you two. We will. You know how we're going to keep it up? We're going to go into Kill Bill Part 2. You know what that means? Of course, our first bottle of wine is done.
Well, that means we have to drink up the rest of...
All right, well, let me ask you this. Do you have any more thoughts about, like, you bought me this microphone.
I did.
And it was because of you that I started my own YouTube channel.
Yep.
You gave it to me for Christmas 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I think you might have given it to me early.
No. Did I?
Mm-mm. We're approaching my 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and you were the impetus behind me doing my own YouTube show.
Yes, I was.
So let me ask you. I mean, now that you're a YouTube star, I mean, you've done 100 episodes.
Yes, 100.
There aren't even 100 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. There's like 98. So you've now reached a point where we could syndicate this show on a network if it was more technically proficient. But I mean, 100 episodes. Now, is there anything about this, like, you haven't been recognized at the Cheesecake Factory yet, as I have been. You were with me. Like, what do you think about 100 episodes of a show?
That's crazy.
It is crazy, right?
It's so crazy.
Like, but how do you feel about it? Do you like doing the show?
I
mean, you
love
always
doing the
dress up,
show.
you always look lovely. You always
Well,
got great earrings and stuff.
Thank you.
We now have our jokes. We have our listeners, our watchers.
We do.
I mean, is there any insight you can give to anybody about being, like, we're like middle-aged people. You're younger than me.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, well, I'm on YouTube and you're in school. Like, we're like living these worlds. We're both in a place where we're surrounded by people that are much younger than we are.
It's true.
And yet we're having more fun than they are.
I think so.
I know so. I mean, is anybody having as much fun as we have fun?
I don't think so.
So what is it like? I mean, can you offer any wise pearls? Like, what's it? 100 episodes of 100 episodes of anything shows a commitment.
Yeah, we're committed.
We're committed.
We're committed.
Now, are we going to continue on?
I hope so. Are we?
I don't know. I live with you, so if you want to not continue on, I don't have a choice.
Of course I want to
I'll
continue
take a picture of
on.
you and make a big frame blow up, and I'll just put it in the chair.
No, look, I love doing these. It's great. We get to spend time together. We watch 3 movies a week, and then we get to talk about them.
And drink wine.
And we get to interact with these great people. Like, it's so amazing. I love reading the chat. I love, hearing people's letters. I love hearing when people are like, oh, I didn't know about this film. I'm so glad that I watched it. I love when that happens because it happens for me. Like, a lot of the films I haven't seen, and you're the one who suggests it, and I just think it's amazing.
No, and at first it's changed too. We've evolved this and we made it more populist, which I think we should maybe change it up more. At first I was being a little too obscure. Like, look at how much I know about film history. Let me just show you.
You were being a little bit snobbish.
I was being a little snobbish.
But I have to say, those first few shows we did were kind of fun. It was fun to do, like, these weird, obscure films.
I thought so, too.
Yeah.
Well, they're only weird, obscure to you.
Well.
I know. I mean, we did Possession.
Not just to me.
Well, yeah.
Doing Possession was so fun.
Wasn't that great?
That was so fun.
People are like, what's Possession?
Oh, don't
Andre Zulawski. No, well, they can go back and watch. We have 100 episodes.
We do. It's crazy. Some of them, like, we would pregame by drinking some gin or whiskey.
Are you saying secrets out of? Are you telling tales?
I am telling secrets. This is the 100th episode. I am telling a few secrets.
Okay.
So some of those first episodes we would pregame.
Well,
it
that was
like right.
By the way, that was your idea, though.
It was
pregame.
right. Well, it was during the initial lockdown when we could not go anywhere, and it was a little freaky.
It was scary.
And I think everyone was over drinking at that point, and I just needed to be drunk.
I think I always overdrink.
That's true, but I don't.
But you had a need. You did you really?
I had a need.
But it was not only the lockdown. You were also nervous about. Like, I kind of dragged you on the show.
I was nervous about the show, and I was freaking out about being in lockdown. I was scared of the virus.
And you're still scared of the virus.
I'm still scared of the virus.
But you know what's great? I think doing these shows has given us an armor. because we always kind of have that blood alcohol. It kills the COVID. Kills the COVID.
You're crazy.
I know. I'm not saying. By the way, don't take that to the bank. I don't know if
That's not true.
there's no scientific explanation that says, well, if you drink or if you watch a movie and then drink a lot of wine, it doesn't make you safe from COVID. Just so you know.
It doesn't. Don't listen to him. He'll use any excuse to drink more. So yeah, we were pre-gaming, and then we'd get on the show and drink a bottle of wine, and some of those first ones are pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
but they're not. I mean,
No, there's some of them are pretty crazy.
are they? Like which ones?
Like when we were like totally smashed.
As opposed to now?
I'm not totally smashed.
I'm not totally smashed.
And then I
but-
have to admit, there were a few shows recently, maybe a month or 2 months ago, where I wasn't drinking.
Yeah, why don't you tell people that? Why don't you come clean finally? And I had to like fake fill your glass.
Yeah, so there are several episodes where Rob would fill my glass and I would pretend to drink, and then we would switch glasses during the middle of the show, so it would look like I drank.
Now, why were you doing that?
Because I needed to lose all that weight that I gained from drinking so much.
Yeah, but you know what? You've got a beautiful face.
Well, thank you.
And you've got bodacious tatas.
So anyway, yeah. But now I'm drinking again. But
Thank God.
We don't pregame anymore. We don't pregame
Well,
anymore.
thanks to Claude and Candida, in this particular episode we did.
Yeah.
I just this is by the way, this is the halftime show.
This is the halftime.
It's the halftime show.
I'm revealing all of our secrets.
Well, it's fine. People love it. People love the secrets. Are you going to finish what you got in that glass?
I'm drinking now.
Well, I understand, but you're not drinking that, and we got to move on to part 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're already. This is going to be our longest show ever, I think.
Even when we did, what was the Gina Davis movie?
The Long Kiss Goodnight
The Long Kiss Goodnight and Zardoz.
and Zardoz. That was a good show.
That was
though.
my favorite.
That was your favorite. You're still talking about it now.
You went off on The Long Kiss Goodnight. It was so great.
Dieter Bastian. By the way, if I can plug another show on the Burnettwork, my compatriot Dieter Bastian on whining about physical media. Oh wait, we're just not. We're talking. Let's get physical media.
Let's get physical.
We're not
media.
whining about physical media. We're gonna open up. By the way, we have another. How do you pronounce that?
Gajuron.
Oh, and what is this?
I don't know.
Say it again.
Gajuron.
Kotoro. Oh, no. Now, this is another bottle of wine from Claude and Candida. Claude, who's been on the show twice. Twice he's been on the show. We talked about Do the Right Thing. And by the way, I have to say Claude is a cineast.
Oh.
No, he's a very intelligent. I mean, he is a very. I think he could be a great film professor if he decides to stop working for the. I shouldn't say what he works for, but
Yeah.
he works for the government.
He's basically James Bond.
He is kind of James Bond, and he has a Bond girl.
He does have
But
a
what's
Bond girl.
awesome is if Claude is James Bond and Candida, his wife, is a Bond girl, it's nice to know that maybe Anya Masava, Triple X, so you got Bond and Triple X, they cosplay as Star Trek characters.
They do.
And I think that's pretty fantastic. And we've only seen one, the fact that Claude and their son Spencer has a pretty impressive collection of Star Wars toys. I'm just saying.
They're
but
so
they sent us
well-rounded.
this bottle of wine. Yes, and I would say these are the kind of friends you want. Star Wars toys, Star Trek cosplayers, and they send us foreign wine.
Yes, that's true.
And one day when COVID is over, we should either just show up at their house and be like, hey, here we are. And we should do an episode of this show from their house.
That would be fun.
So, I think we're going to pour this up and we're going to salute Claude and Candida because no one, by the way, don't forget, Julius Goodwin is the official sommelier of this channel.
He is.
But Claude and Candida are the first couple.
They are.
So you cannot mention one without the other. So, Julius, don't think we've forgotten you because we haven't. But this is all about romance. So we're going to talk about Claude and Candida, the first couple. Anyway, you finished your glass?
I did.
All right, people are probably. I can't even believe. Is anyone still watching this show?
Oh my God, it's almost 9. We haven't even gotten to the second one.
No, and Gilbert and Toulouse are like, what the fuck are they?
Oh my God.
Where do they go? Like,
Did you feed them before?
Yes, I did feed them. I fed them. Look, I cut my finger on that thing.
No.
All right, so here we go, babe. This is this wine that Claude Candida gave us. 2 bottles. I mean, you know what? Right now, any chance I've ever had of working for corporate America is being flagged.
Oh.
I don't think Rob Burnett's the kind of guy you want to like invest your money in.
Why? Because we're drinking?
Yeah, we're drinking. Yes. And
People drink.
People drink, but like we started out with, of course, rum. I just like more
Just a
rum.
spot of rum.
That's true. It's not like I'm swigging. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to part 2 of the 100th episode of
Whining about movies.
Elysabeth.
Elysabeth. That's me.
And that's her. And in case you didn't know, there she is. What are you?
I'm the ace.
And what is the ace?
The arbiter of cinematic.
The
arbiter.
The arbiter of what?
Cinematic.
Cinematic excellence.
Am I slurring?
No. And what else are you?
The enchantress
of entertainment. And if nothing else, this show is wildly entertaining. At least if for no one else, to us, we're entertained by it.
Yes, we are.
But we do love these films, and we don't want to. We mean no disrespect. This is our funny George and Gracie banter. We don't want people to think that we don't have our eye on the prize. That we're still going to talk.
That we would be disrespectful of what?
Of the movie.
Oh my God, I fucking love these movies.
Okay, well that's good. So hang on. Let's see where. Eric Gant is here. Eric, thank you so much for that. Eric says, "Congrats on the 100th episode, Elysabeth and Rob. Here's hoping you eventually cover what I consider to be the best thing written by Tarantino, true romance. I like you, Clarence. Always have. Always will."
Well, we gotta watch it.
By the way, that was Val Kilmer playing Elvis, wearing the same glasses as.
I don't know.
Well,
the sheriff guy.
No, the same glasses as Buck who likes to fuck.
Oh, Buck.
That's the gold glasses.
Yes, Buck.
Anyway,
in his pussy.
We're gonna do True Romance. As a matter of fact, you know what?
We should do it.
That's our next movie.
Okay, let's do a Tarantino week or 2.
Well, then that we have to start now.
Yeah, now.
Well, we have started now. We've done Kill Bill.
We have.
So, okay, we're gonna do. Yes, why not do 2 weeks of Tarantino? Why not?
Yes.
Okay,
and
well
then we can do a few Christmas movies, and we can do. People have been asking.
Oh, I've got a Christmas movie for you.
Actually, people have been asking for westerns.
Wait. I got a Christmas movie. Yep.
That is not.
Oh, it is, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm not going to tell you. I think we're going to do a Christmas movie. Deadly Games. By the way, don't tell Elysabeth anything about this because there's a surprise involved about this movie. Dial Code Santa Claus is what it's called. Oh, you're gonna love it. You have no idea. I'm gonna put it on. You're gonna be like, oh my God, really? Yes. But okay, let's do Tarantino then.
Tarantino.
So our next Tarantino film, which will be Thursday, because today is Monday, and then we're gonna do. Well, you have to work, right?
Okay, I have to say I'm in my finals right now.
Right.
So yes, Thursday's fine.
Are you sure or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we can watch the film the night before.
Yeah. We'll
I can't watch it the day of because I have.
No. We'll do. So Thursday night, Elysabeth's 101. We're gonna do True Romance. True Romance. So there you go, Black Phillip. Bill didn't sympathize with her at all and still wanted to kill her. May I suggest Total Recall or Collateral, since they both have 4K releases in December? Bruh, I got that covered. But I would suggest you also watch Let's Get Physical Media. What are you're reading? You're reading like texts while we're live?
Julia, she said she would watch. And she texted me. She said she would text me in the middle of the show just to piss you off.
Really? Well, there's no super chat from her.
She's going to send a super chat.
Okay, come on. Anthony Gonzalez, how are you? How are you doing, Elizabeth? Hey, Rob.
Hello.
You've mentioned your first encounter with the Seven script. It's true. After you finally saw it, what did you think? And Liz, what were your impressions? Have you ever seen Seven?
Yes.
Do you know that I have a Seven action figure?
Where is it?
It's over there somewhere. I have it's not a very good action figure.
Who cares?
But it's Detective Mills. It's Brad Pitt. It's
You
Detective
have
Mills.
a Brad Pitt action figure and you haven't even shown it to me?
Well, it's not very good. Well, I have one. Well,
Does it look like Brad Pitt?
no, not really. The action figure set, just so you know, I'll admit to you right now, there's a $600 action figure set of the two Brad Pitt characters from... Don't worry, I don't have it yet.
Yet?
But
Does that mean you put a down payment on it?
no, I have not.
But it is Brad Pitt after all.
It's Brad Pitt, and he comes in a
What
bathrobe.
characters?
Well, it's
In a
Tyler
bathrobe?
Durden. It's Tyler Durden. Both versions of Tyler Durden from Fight Club. So it's got the ball,
Which we did Fight Club. You need to watch that episode.
Yeah, so it's that character.
Okay, can I have those?
Not if I'm paying $600 to get
What,
them.
I'm not worth $600?
No, you're worth $600, but you're not worth a $600 action figure.
That's a lot.
You will take the little. It comes with all kinds of little things, and you'll play with them
With a
and
little
lose them.
soap. What am I, 5?
No one's ever seen our house, but you lose shit in there.
I don't lose shit in the house. You lose shit in the house.
No, I've moved it all in here.
No.
By the way, this is really good. What an interesting drop of wine this is.
Who's the most organized of us two?
Look, I understand. Look, I think we should get back on topic.
You brought it up.
This is fantastic wine, by the way. Here's to Claude and Candida.
Now you're trying to change the subject.
I'm not.
You
I think
brought it up and then you're changing the
the
subject.
actual subject is the movie Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, we got to get started. It's
which
already
comes
9.
out a year later, a year between Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. However, there is a version of both movies called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, which I hope one day will get released, which I saw at the
Well,
new
Quentin is
New
watching,
Beverly.
so can you make that happen?
Quentin is not watching.
He is watching.
He is not watching.
Yes, he is.
You know what? If he's watching, he's going to be like, Burnett, what happened? I saw your movie at the Hawaii Film Festival, and you haven't directed anything since 2000. Well, since 1999 it came out.
It's going to happen, babe. It's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I produced DVD special features. What are you going to do?
No,
Just gotta keep going.
you're going to direct. Don't worry.
Oh, I know. I got things. As Dr. Deal, he was Dr. Dealgood. He was the gyro captain, but not the gyro captain. In Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, he said, "Dice are rolling." That's all I can say. Anyway, so Kill Bill Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Yes.
Wow. So now a lot of people,
Too high. You need to
a
lower
lot of
that.
people will tell you that they don't like Kill Bill 2 as much as Volume 1.
You're kidding me.
No, well,
I think Volume 2 is slightly better.
well, it's a different experience.
Slightly.
Volume 1 is deliciously visceral, and Volume 2
Volume
is
1
more
is
intellectual.
That's right. Maybe that's why I like Volume 2
Yeah,
a little bit better.
and it's exactly what Tarantino said. He said, "Look, I'm the first film is I'm posing questions.
That's not true. I am getting a doll. I am getting a Uma Thurman.
I already gave you a Tyrion Lannister.
Because you had a double.
No,
That's all I get.
That was Tyrion
I get your
Lannister.
doubles occasionally. Not even occasionally. Once.
Not true. That was Tyrion Lannister from the 3rd season. I have the 7th season one. I gave you the Hand of the King.
You have the one with the whole pitcher of wine.
You got the Goblet of Wine.
Babe. You gave me one
Look,
figure.
you want to mix and match accessories? Is that what you want to do? I mean, seriously?
I want more figures. The ones I
Look,
like,
if
though.
you really want the Tyrion Lannister accessories from Game of Thrones Season 7, I can, of course, give them to you.
It's so crazy how you just pull things out that we're talking about.
Well, that's kind of... that's the magic of this show. People talk about stuff, and I just have it. That's what being in the Robservatory. It's like, I'm Bernadette. I'm a dancer. Wait till I get the Showgirls 4K disc from Germany.
I haven't seen Showgirls.
I know, but it's on its way. We're doing Showgirls.
Okay.
You'll see.
You'll see.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
Know me. It's a joke. You don't know me. Nomi.
Is that somebody's name?
Yes. Nomi Malone. We should get back to the movie at hand. Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Too much wine.
Are we partying or what? Raise your goblet of rock. That's a School of Rock reference.
I know. I love that film.
I do too.
Jack Black is one of my favorite dudes.
That film is so good. You know, I love The Holiday. We're going to do The Holiday for Christmas.
We are doing The
Can
Holiday.
we do The Holiday?
I love The Holiday.
I mean, how many movies have a film composer as one of their main characters?
Who's a film composer?
Well, apparently you don't remember, but one of the older dudes in the movie is a film composer.
Oh,
Come on,
love
man.
that dude.
By the way, would you surprise you to know I have The Holiday on Blu-ray?
Excuse me, Jude Law.
I know. So let's get into this. Come on.
Okay, Kill Bill 2. Come on, man, focus.
I'm focused. So Kill Bill Volume 2 opens on the great question, what happened in El Paso to the bride?
Yeah, what happened?
What happened? The massacre.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens with a great scene. Everybody's happy. You see
they're doing their rehearsal.
and they decided
they're dressed in their
in
wedding
their
garb for the rehearsal.
Yep. And everything seems to be going well. And again, Bo Severinsen is playing the pastor. I think it's Bo Severinsen, right? I'm right about that, yeah?
I don't know.
Yeah, as the Reverend Harmony. And here's one of the great things about another great thing about Tarantino. He casts all of these people that he loved. And I always wanted to do this.
That's so cool.
My first movie, the one movie I made, I got
You cast your favorite person.
But not just Shatner. I got to get Deborah Van Valkenburg. You know,
She's
who's but she was in the Warriors. I mean, I love that, and Tarantino does that. I learned that from him. Go find your favorite actress, or actor, and you can go get them. Go get Robert Forrest.
Go get them.
Both
Why
Severinsen.
not? They're just people.
And but the thing is, if you love them, and this project that I'm working on that you know about, one of the actors that I'm developing has, I don't want to say it, but potential. I'm gonna have to.
There's something I have to tell you about him.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
it's problematic.
Wait, I don't think we're on the same page.
Well, anyway, we'll talk about it later. But yes, so we learned the whole, and you see the bride and her husband to be, who kind of looks like my friend Tommy Mack, who made New Shoes, a great music video. But so there we are in El Paso, in the place where we've seen the bride from the opening scene of Kill Bill 1. We're in that place.
We're in that place.
And what's amazing is we think it's all happy, and the bride's we know it goes to shit, but the bride is having a good time, and everyone's in love, and Bo Severinsen is and I love that it's his wife, and he calls her mother. It's all old school. I mean, it's so good, and it's awesome. And you think it's happy. And then the bride hears a sound.
Well, they ask her, why don't you have anyone? Because she has no one coming to the wedding. She doesn't know anybody. She doesn't have any family coming. And the pastor's wife is going on and on about it, and she's getting pissed off. So she tells her friends, I'm just going to go outside and get some air. She walks outside.
Well, she goes outside to get some air because she's heard something she's heard before.
Right. She hears the flute.
She goes outside,
and she looks, and there is Bill playing the flute.
There is Bill in his full fucking awesomeness glory. It is David motherfucking Carradine. It is Kane who walked the earth in Kung Fu that Quentin Tarantino referenced 10 years before in Pulp Fiction. It seems like, as far as a Tarantino filmography is concerned, this is bringing things full circle.
Yeah.
And the clothes that he wears in this movie are impeccable.
Yeah.
And his weathered face and his hair. I mean, and
the
his
funny
voice.
thing is, I always thought like he was Asian because he was in Kung Fu. And then when he was like in North and South, I was like, oh, he's not Asian.
No. But I have to say, like, I don't understand. He is iconic.
He is.
His entire delivery, every line of dialogue that comes out of his mouth.
He has this cute little lisp.
And it is so good. And of course, we already know that he what happens to her. This is a flashback.
We do.
We know what he's going to do.
We know what he's going to do.
The tension is
because you're feeling like, oh shit, she trusts this guy.
It's like a garrote against your neck.
Yeah, she's like happy, kind of happy to see him.
Garrote
and
Ridley Scott's the counselor at the end. It's gonna. I mean, the tension's just being drawn.
There's so much tension.
And
she's like, "What are you doing here?" And then she explains she's getting married.
How did you find me?
And then she even asks for his blessing, and he gives it to her, and she kisses him a couple times. And you're like,
and then he comes into the church,
and you're thinking, oh my God, you have no idea what he's going to do to you.
I mean, it is hardcore.
Hardcore.
And then
that's jealousy for you. If you're an assassin and you're jealous, that's what happens.
Have you had experience with that in your past?
I've never had experience with an assassin.
But jealousy.
Jealousy sucks.
Well, it does. It's bad. Let's hear it for no jealousy.
Well, a small amount of jealousy is...
Really?
A small amount. An appropriate amount of jealousy is good.
A sprinkling of jealousy,
a sprinkling
perhaps?
is
what is
good
appropriate?
for a relationship.
How do you
a
define?
Smidge.
How do you define jealousy? Like a small
because
amount?
a small amount makes you feel like you're valuable to that person.
Oh. So you feel that if someone's jealous of you?
Yeah, so if the person you're with gets a little tiny bit jealous, if you are like flirting with someone else, that makes you feel good. But then if it goes over the top and they're trying to control you, then it feels bad.
Wow, it sounds like you speak from experience. I would hope you would tell the people at home that's not me.
You've never been...
Yeah, you should tell people that I've never been jealous. I'm not that guy you were just talking about.
I'm not talking about any guy.
Okay, well, please tell people that I haven't done that. Like, I don't manipulate you through jealousy.
Oh, no.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear,
no,
babe. Come
honey,
on.
no.
Come on now.
No, you're not over the top jealous.
I'm not stealthily jealous either.
No.
Okay, what do you mean, no? Why are you trying to create something that doesn't exist? What we should get back to is Kill Bill Volume 2.
Well, you brought it up.
I didn't bring up jealousy and all. You've gone off on some tangent about jealousy. I didn't bring that up.
Because this is all about... The reason he assassinates her is because he's jealous.
Well, he's jealous and she's pregnant with his son or daughter.
Well, he doesn't know at this point. What he sees is that she's getting married to another dude.
No, she's...
And she's pregnant.
Yes, but he sees this is the first time you have a bun in the oven.
Right, so it makes him so jealous that he gets his other assassins to come and kill her.
Well, kill everybody. I mean, he is a fucking evil bastard. And he's in charge of the Viper Deadly Assassination Squad. Like, and I understand, but what's great is, what I love about this is how he plays it very quiet. Tarantino plays it very quiet. What are you laughing at?
I'm reading the chat. Okay, let's get back to the...
No, he's very guilty. He's very jealous. Completely. He cannot stand that she would leave him. And by the way, this comes into play later. She would leave him for somebody ordinary.
Yeah, he's just a guy who owns a record store.
A guy who owns a record store in El Paso.
In El Paso.
I mean, I could call up Dieter and go, hey man, I want to own a techno record store in Berlin. Rob, that's a great place to own a techno record store in Berlin. And he goes, can you get Blu-rays there so we can get them at cost? I'm like, yes, I can. But that's the thing. He's a jealous bastard. He's a bastard. you know, and the fact that he is wronged by her, and then shows up and brings the other 4 members of the deadly
Yeah.
O-Ren Ishii,
Yep.
Bud, who we haven't really met,
Bud.
Bud, Michael Madsen, who worked for the Quentin Tarantino on, for the first time in 10 years. So and Ellie Driver and Vernita Green. And they all show up. So the 5 members and their leader,
They all show up.
They
just blast everyone. And then he personally shoots her in the head. After she tries to tell him,
Bill,
the baby is his.
The baby's his. So then we know. But what's amazing is, and now let me ask you this, finding out, as Quentin Tarantino said, the first film poses questions, the second film gives you answers. Now you find out, did you find that satisfying?
Yeah, I mean, you at least know
Yeah.
why he did it. Although you don't know exactly why till the very end, that it was jealousy. But you do find out who did it and why she wants revenge against these people.
Right. No, it's amazing. And now it's great to, now we have that backstory filled in. Then Bill goes to his brother, Bud's trailer. And it harks back to a scene we saw at the very end of Kill Bill 1 where Bud and Bill are talking, and Bill's like, well, she's out there. She's going to come for you. And she's going to fucking kill you. And they're brothers, and they're broing down like brothers do. And the question is, you know, what are you going to do? And Bud says...
Well, Bud is like basically like, we deserve it.
Yeah, we deserve it. That and Bud's like, he's pretty zen about it. What you doing? Zen Buddha. But the thing about Bud's like, you know what? We wronged her.
Yeah.
We fucked her over because you lost your cool.
Yep.
Jealous motherfucker. And now she's alive. So the fact that she's been killing the rest of us, this is your fault. And maybe she deserves her revenge.
Yeah, we deserve to die for what we did.
Yeah, we deserve to die.
But then at the end, he's like, but maybe she deserves to die too.
Yeah. But what's great is then we learn about Bud. He
so
like,
you think like he's
one of the world's great assassins.
Yeah.
And he says he hawked his Hattori Hanzo sword.
Right, for $250.
For $250.
And his brother's like, what the hell? That's priceless.
It's like, whatever. And we find out he's like, he's a subordinate at a strip club bouncing.
He's always late. And he gets in trouble by his boss.
Yeah, and you're like, this guy and is one of the greatest assassins in the world, and yet
he's such a loser.
Where Vernita Green's in Pasadena with her doctor husband, although I don't think a doctor husband would buy a single-story house in Pasadena.
Yeah, that was kind of a small house.
Yeah, it was a small house.
Although houses that size house goes for $1 million.
Yeah, but a doctor, unless he's an intern, which could be, maybe hasn't worked.
Yeah, they were pretty young.
They were young.
Yeah.
So you never know. But
he was
so
doing his residency.
Yeah. And we get to meet Bud, and we get to see his life and understand where he is and all that. And, you know, he, after this day...
That is too cool for school.
Well, yeah, we have this humiliating... So he finally goes home to his apartment. Or his trailer. His hideous trailer.
His trashy trailer.
That was probably shot in up at Vasquez Rocks. You know, a trashy trailer. And then what's great is he hears a noise outside. He's not stupid. And the bride's underneath his trailer waiting for him. And she thinks she's got the drop on him.
Yeah.
She throws open the door, and he is waiting with a shotgun.
He is.
But bam!
Blasts her. In her tatas.
With salt.
Yeah,
rock
but
salt.
You don't know that.
No, he says
it. Well, yeah, he says it after... So you think, like, what the fuck? How is she still alive?
Yeah.
And then he gives her a shot of some kind of sedative.
It's true.
And then he does something truly, truly, truly evil. I mean, my worst nightmare, the scariest thing ever, he buries her alive.
Yeah, you were freaking out when we were watching it again.
I was
You were-
fucking freaking out.
You were freaking out about being buried alive. You know what Khan used to say in Star Trek 2? I shall leave you as you left me. Buried alive. Buried alive. It does say revenge is a dish best served cold.
Oh my God. I was seriously sweating, and it was like the worst nightmare coming alive on the screen.
Let me ask you a question. If I had to go pee right now, could you handle this by yourself for a couple minutes? Talk to the audience?
Did you really have that much to drink?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we're drinking wine. I'm just sitting here thinking I can't think straight because I have to drain the main vein.
Well, maybe I have to pee too.
Really? Well, I don't know. I think people, if we took a pee break, I think people would be here. It's an epic show. We got to see the dogs.
Should we, how should we do this?
Well, we can also just put you up and, like, take a break.
Yeah, let's take a 3-minute break.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. What do you think? We have to. It's a moral imperative. Because, God damn it, we have to pee. So, remember, the Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival, give us 5 minutes. So what do you think? We're back.
We're back.
Have you drained the main vein?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? Are you sure you're sure?
That's not very ladylike.
Well, I know that, like, okay, your vein's inside, where's our vein, or your urethra or whatever.
All right.
Are you sure?
Let's talk about Kill Bill 2.
Kill Bill 2. So, where were we? We are back.
Did you
Ladies
miss
and
us?
gentlemen, gentle beings, kind souls, however you identify from across these 28 known galaxies, thanks for sticking with us for the 100th episode of...
Elysabeth whining about movies.
And who are you?
I'm Elysabeth Belle.
Gwendolyn Belle.
Elysabeth Gwendolyn Belle, the
And-
ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence, and the enchantress,
Enchantress of entertainment. And you're the enchantress of my heart. Come on, babe. Give me a kiss. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. Oh, yeah. That was more crushing. There was no finesse game in that
Finesse
kiss. I was not playing a finesse game there. That was more of a perfunctory kiss. Come on. Give me that. Come on. Well, that was better, right?
We're gonna start making out.
I know.
The
My
show.
God.
We
Why
already
not?
lost a bunch of people.
They'll come back.
Now we're gonna lose more people.
Oh, woe is us. God forbid we kiss on YouTube. Oh, my God. I know there's so many virgins in this space. We kissed. Uh-oh. Sorry. Anyway, so where are we? Now, what happens, and I think this is amazing. This is great about this. So we find the backstory out about Bill and the bride.
We do.
And we find out the name of the bride.
Yes, we do. Yeah, they show her backstory.
It's not Beatrix Potter.
Nope. It's Beatrix Kiddo.
Beatrix Kiddo is her name.
Yep.
And Bill takes her. Apparently, he's seen her potential to be one of the greatest assassins in the world.
Yeah.
And she is being taken to Pai Mei.
Yes. Pai Mei.
Played by another amazing, Gordon, I don't know if it's Gordon Lau?
I think so.
Gordon Liu is, I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's Gordon Liu.
Yeah.
Plays Pai Mei. And Pai Mei, he hates Caucasians. He hates Americans.
Blondes.
He hates blondes. He hates women. And Pai Mei is the ultimate teacher. He's the fucking Yoda
He is.
of assassins, martial artists. You must pay your respects. And by the way, this is such a throwback, such an homage to, like, we heard from Black Phillip Alvarez about Shaw Brothers movies. Yes, we're talking about that now. It's amazing. And there begins the whole grasshopper sequence. Wax on, wax off. Yes. The bride is being trained by Pai Mei.
Yes, she is.
And she learns.
And before he takes her there, there's a sequence where Bill explains to her that Pai Mei knows the secret technique of the five finger palm heart technique. I don't. It's like this long name. Five finger palm heart stop technique.
By the way, I just want to point out: did we get to the point where we would talk about shots? So we understand that Bud has shot her, and Bud went to bury her in the ground. Did we already say that?
Oh my God, no! I was freaking out about the burial part.
Right, but we didn't quite finish that off.
No, we did not.
So she is buried alive.
Yeah, so he freaking buries her alive. He freaking buries her alive. Very stressful.
But great. She wakes up and she doesn't...
Yeah, but wait. Before he does that, the whole Pai Mei sequence happens.
Does it? I don't think so.
Yeah, the flashback to the Pai Mei sequence.
No, because it was her...
Yes, because she uses the technique of breaking through the wood to get out.
Right, but she doesn't know... We don't know how she knows that yet. It starts out that way, and then it cuts the Pai Mei sequence.
Oh, well, anyway, she's buried alive.
She's buried alive. We didn't quite get to...
In Paula Schultz's grave.
A girl I used to date in Sunday school.
Really?
No. No, but you know... Anyway.
Okay.
So then we go to Pai Mei, and there's a long sequence, and it's great.
It is great.
It's
So
the whole
Bill
thing of the
takes her
training.
there to be trained by Pai Mei, who is like this amazing, I don't know.
Well, he's the Yoda of samurai assassins.
Right.
What I love about the scene, she's like, well, how long am I going to be here? And he's like, well, he might not talk to you in the first year. And it's great because this is right out of Asian. If you grew up watching, like, I don't want to say they're cheesy, but low rent, maybe, Asian samurai action films in the 70s. I mean, this is right out. It's even shot like the zooms. I mean, Tarantino is basically paying an homage. What's genius about both of these movies is he's paying an homage to like 20 different filmmakers, entire countries, and their entire cinematic legacy. I mean, he's encompassing it all into the same kind of thing. It's amazing. The love is so even the grain patterns and the blood and it's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
Yeah, so she goes there and Bill basically leaves her there for, we don't even know how long.
No,
years.
We never know. It could be years.
Yeah. So he trains her and teaches her how to, you see her constantly trying to break through the wood because he just breaks right through it. And he's like constantly teaching her and she's like, trying to do it. And like, you see how rough he is on her, Pai Mei.
Yeah.
With his beard.
Yes.
But before she went, Bill told her about the 5-finger palm heart stopping.
He has a technique and go
where,
whatever.
Yeah, you use 5-finger at the pressure points, and you can stop. You can like create this scenario where the heart will stop after the person takes 5 steps. But he never shared that technique with anyone.
Nope.
Anyone. Okay, this is an important part to remember.
It's an important part to remember.
Okay.
And
so anyway, so she's training under Pai Mei.
Training.
And she's trying to break through the wood, and then what happens?
Well, I mean,
then it cuts back to her being buried alive.
And by the way, the training sequence is so brilliantly done.
It's
the shots are brilliant. And then so then we cut back to the burial.
Yeah, so she's in the coffin, underground, buried alive, and she has a flashlight.
Well, what I love about this movie is you have scenes that pose questions like, how the hell is Beatrix Kiddo going to get out of this coffin?
Right, and I'm freaking out.
You're freaking out, and you don't know. And then that's when Tarantino pivots and goes, let's tell a backstory now, a long backstory of Pai Mei, and he adds to the mythology of this world that they live in, whether it's Hanzo's swords or whether it's Pai Mei. Like, everybody's worked with him, everybody knows what's going on. It's like the John Wick series owes a debt of gratitude to this film, because the same way that they basically are creating this whole mythology about these modern day assassins, and ridiculous, the deadly Viper assassination squad. It's not like that's very erudite. It's not like it's the CIA. It's like, no, man, we're the deadly Viper assassination squad, which is a hark back to Fox Force 5 from Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's all brilliant, and it's great.
It is.
So then you cut back to Beatrix Kiddo, in the and it's like what she learned from Pai Mei is going to save her life.
Yeah, here's the cool thing. They buried her in a pine wood coffin instead of using Paula Schultz's old coffin, because they show, like, after they dug her up, like, she's there with her beautiful, expensive.
Why do you think that is?
Coffin. I don't know.
By the way, the actor, and I forget his name, the little person, the guy who was in The Blacklist, he passed away this year. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, so I don't want to get morose on our 100th episode.
Yeah, seriously. So she starts doing her wood breaking technique.
Yeah.
And finally she breaks through the wood and she digs herself out.
By the way, I just want to make sure that the audience knows I'm not faking pouring you more wine.
No, I'm actually drinking right now.
Yeah, you're getting hammered.
Even though, well, I'm allowed to have red wine.
Right, but are you allowed to have 2 bottles of red wine? So we're going to do a bottle
I'm only
each?
supposed to have 1 glass of wine a night.
Yeah, but this is a milestone
But I
show.
don't have 1 glass of wine a night. I have 1 glass of wine when we do the shows.
Yeah.
And the rest of the week, I don't drink. So I'm making up for not drinking on those nights.
Right, and this is a special night. It's our 100th episode.
This is so special.
Yeah, and so anyway, now Beatrice Kiddo is going to punch her way to the top.
She punches her way out of the wood, and then she digs herself out.
Now, there's something we forgot.
What?
Ellie Driver
Oh, yes.
has contacted Bud.
She has.
And Ellie Driver, Bud has told her
That he has her, that he's going to take care of her, and that he has her
Hanzo's sword.
Hanzo's sword.
Tori Hanzo's sword. And we know that he's pawned his Tori Hanzo sword.
So he said.
So he said.
And he's like, you give me $1 million, I will give you the sword.
I'll give you the sword.
And she's like, bring your bony ass over here tomorrow, and I'll give you the sword.
Yep.
For $1 million. And
Yep.
she's like, make sure you torture
Beatrix.
Black Mamba.
Black Mamba. Which Vernita Green said, why wasn't my name Black Mamba? Maybe that would have been a bit on the nose. Because that goes back, even the fact that Vivica Fox, the black woman, is not named Black Mamba, goes all the way back to Tarantino's first film, Reservoir Dogs. Why do I have to be Mr. Pink? Because another guy in another job is Mr. Pink. You're Mr. Purple. You don't know what that is.
I have not seen it, so I don't know.
So anyway, so yes, so
where were we?
Okay, so Beatrix Kiddo gets herself out.
She gets herself out. She's all dusty. She goes into
Ellie Driver goes and meets
Bud.
and
She brings him $1 million in a red suitcase.
she brings him and she fucking.
So they're in his trailer, and they're talking about, I don't know what they're talking about, but he gives her a drink. Anyway, they're drinking, and then he goes to count his money, and he's like opening the suitcase, counting the money, and then he moves a bunch of stacks, and there's a snake, and it bites him in the face.
A California mountain snake. Is that Julia?
No.
Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
California mountain snake and a black mamba, whatever, leaps at him.
It bites him in the face.
I mean, Ellie Driver fucks over her own compatriot.
Oh, yeah. Like, majorly. It, like, bites him several times in the face.
And he's dying.
Yeah. Because she starts reading him facts about the black mamba.
Yeah. And then, of course...
How it takes, like, if it bites you on the ankle, it'll take 4 hours. But if it bites you in the face, it takes 20 minutes.
Well, and then in the midst of all this, $1 million in cash is there, and we find out. Well, we don't.
Well, Bud is dying.
With
While she's reading facts about Black
with
Mamba.
Beatrix's Hattori Hanzo sword is there.
We're right, because she paid $1 million for it, although she's going to take her $1 million back. So she talks to Bill. I think it's Bill, right? And she's like, I'm so sorry, your brother's dead. Beatrix put a black mamba in his trailer. And then, I don't know what else she says, but she starts putting the money in her suitcase because she's about to leave. And then she opens the door to leave, and lo and behold, who's there?
Who is there is Beatrix Kiddo. And then Ellie Driver and Beatrix Kiddo have a knockdown, drag-out battle.
So now, well, yeah, so they're fighting, and then Beatrix finds Bud's sword.
Hattori Hanzo sword.
Not sell it. So
nobody would ever pawn a Hattori. These characters... By the way, again, what Tarantino does brilliantly from a character building point of view, you think he's a deadbeat working at a strip club, but then you realize, no, he's not. He's still living by the code. He would never pawn his Hattori Hanzo sword. All of this is he's figuring. I have a Hanzo sword. I don't need.
He didn't want to sell his. So.
No, that was his sword.
Yeah.
And it, from a character building standpoint, it's pretty amazing. I mean, you watch this and you're like, Tarantino never stops building the character, telling the story. It never ends. And even after, and so we end up in a knockdown, drag out battle where
this fight is amazing.
It's amazing. It's
and I
fucking
love how
hardcore.
It ends. Yeah, so they're fighting and each one has a sword and they're about to sword fight, and this is the best part. She,
well, Ellie Driver has one eye. They call her One Eye.
One eye.
And what does Beatrix Kiddo do?
Instead of sword fighting with her, she just reaches out, snaps out her second eye.
Snaps out her eye.
And that was it. And she goes insane.
And by the way, no. For anyone who's a Blade Runner fan, anybody who loves Blade Runner knows exactly what's happening when Ellie Driver is dying. She's dying the same way that her character Pris died in 1982's Blade Runner. We're talking, this movie came out in 2004. It is 22 years later. Daryl Hannah looks fucking amazing, and she fucking dies on the ground screaming like, ah! Her limbs going, ah! Just like she died in Blade Runner. And no one ever says this, but Quentin Tarantino's like, Daryl. It's like Blade Runner. You're gonna die in Blade Runner. Just do that. It's gonna be great. You know that's what he was saying, because everyone. I mean, why would you not? You have Blade Runner. You want her to die. You know, she gets shot, but she gets her eye pulled out, and she's in the back. She's like a replicant.
Well, she can't see, so she's flailing about.
Yes, but it's
she's
so
pissed.
It's so amazing. You're like, oh my god, I get it. It's Blade Runner.
And then she gets enclosed in the cabin with the black mamba.
And as you pointed out, Beatrix Kiddo doesn't even take the money.
She doesn't take the money, and she doesn't take the second sword. She just takes her own sword.
You know why? Because the Bushido code, none of that other shit matters. It's not mine.
It's not hers.
Fuck all
all
those
she
people.
needs is her own sword. That
That's
was
right.
made, custom made for her. The best Hattori Hanzo sword ever made.
That's right. God damn it.
God damn it. Made to kill Bill.
Cheers to you. Wait. Isn't that great?
Don't break them.
No. It's like 1, 2, 3. I feel like there's some
It's like
kind
a
of
gong.
liturgy.
It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
A gong.
Some liturgy that's going to be, yes, totally.
Yeah.
Some religious thing.
We just got gong washed.
So she walks out the door, and then it fades to black. It's like the last chapter.
The last chapter.
The last chapter.
The final. What does it say? I don't know.
Like one-on-one or something, the last chapter. It does say the last chapter, though.
Yeah.
And then we cut to, she's driving, and the beautiful Robert Rodriguez. By the way, yes, the same Robert Rodriguez who made El Mariachi and who made Battle Angel Alita. Robert Rodriguez wrote score for this movie. Wrote music score. Quentin Tarantino says that they're best friends. Robert Rodriguez wrote music score, and you hear Robert Rodriguez's score over these beautiful shots of Mexico that are highly evocative of Tony Scott's Revenge, if you haven't seen that, but you should.
Yeah, so she's driving. This is the scene that...
Well, yeah.
He made her drive this car that wasn't safe, and...
On a dirt road, she hit a tree.
Yeah.
Look, we're not gossipy. Like, we can't... I don't want to get into, relationship business. I want to talk about the movie
it's
as we've
sad
said.
Because they were so good together. It's just sad that he ruined it.
Well, she also agreed to do it.
She did not want to drive that car. She said the seat was not bolted down properly, and he wanted her to go 40 miles an hour so that her hair would blow. Because you see in the very, very, very last scene, her hair is blowing in the wind as she's driving that car.
I know.
She did not. It was on a dirt road.
So for people who don't know, there was an accident scene, and there was an accident. It was not good.
When she was driving that car, she hit a tree. It fucked up her legs, her knees forever. So anyway. It's sad. Because they were so good together. They created the bride together. What an amazing character.
She'll come back.
With Uma Thurman?
Yep.
I don't...
I am willing to put money down right now
Really?
that Quentin Tarantino brings back the bride. Brings back Beatrice Kiddo.
With Uma Thurman.
Well, think about it. Both girls, both Vernita Green's daughter and her daughter, they're 20 now.
They are.
In real time, they are 20. You know what 20-year-olds are? Ridiculous.
I have a 20-year-old.
Except, I know you do. Oh, wait. No, Zoe, you're not ridiculous. But I'm just saying, the possibilities are endless. He'll bring him back. You know why? Because...
That would be fucking amazing. Quentin, you got to do that.
He'll bring him back.
Come on, man. Mend things with Uma. She's amazing.
Look, you don't have... If you're Quentin Tarantino, you don't have to mend things with... He'll call up and go...
No, she was really, truly upset about everything that happened on this film.
I know she was. I know.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to deny her that, but you know what? I mean, she did sign up. She knew what she was getting into. It's like an airplane. They knew what they were getting into. They bought their tickets.
Yeah,
I say let them crash.
No.
No, I know.
Don't.
I don't mean to make light of anything. I don't. And you're right. I mean, safety is...
She did not want to drive that car. She did not want to drive
No,
that
I know,
car.
and she said it. She was very... I know. Come on, babe. Love you. So, let's...
I don't know if he'll convince her to do a Kill Bill.
Well, I think he might. But anyway, so let's get to the point where...
But her daughter... Wouldn't it be cool if her daughter... Although, she would never allow her daughter to do a film with Quentin.
I don't think... Maybe she would.
Come on, man. She was damaged by this movie.
Legacy.
Physically damaged.
Her and Ethan
Probably
Hawke...
emotionally, too.
She looks just like her.
Oh, somebody said they talked about Kill Bill 3.
Well, anyway, so let's not forget. So the confrontation comes. You know, she finds Michael Parks again.
Right.
Esteban.
Yeah. So he's a
He's a pimp.
He's a pimp.
And he cuts women that don't do what he wants. And he was Bill's father. He brought Bill up.
His father.
Stepfather. Man, Michael Parks is Esteban, smoking a cigarette. You beautiful woman, look at your hair. I mean, it's unbelievable. I love his character. Yeah, it's the way he talks with his beard. It's so good. And so, where's Bill?
Where's Belle?
And they have this conversation and all this, and it's...
Yeah, so finally he tells her...
And the funny thing about this is that he tells her, Bill's like living in a resort hotel on the beach. Like, he's not even in... I get it. He has to be transitory.
It's his apartment.
But he's living in 101. But it's like a hotel.
It's an apartment.
Okay.
And he's raising his child there, obviously.
But there's a concierge.
There is.
I mean, I get it. In Mexico, you know, probably cartel territory, whatever.
It's a fancy place.
It's a fancy place.
Yeah.
And then the bride comes in and sees her daughter.
She goes in fully intending to kill Bill. That's the whole premise of these two films.
But then we get to the...
She has her sword. She has a gun. She goes in there like she's going to kill him. She has her gun out. And she goes in and she hears...
Bill and her daughter...
Yeah.
Are playing,
Kill
Mommy's
Mommy,
got a gun.
Mommy.
Kill Mommy, shoot Mommy.
Shoot Mommy, she's shooting us or whatever.
What a way to disarm your opponent.
Play dead, and she sees like him interacting with this beautiful little girl, and they're pretending to play dead.
And she has no idea. This is the first time she's confronted with the fact that the daughter she thought she lost 4.5 years ago.
And he keeps saying like, "Mommy, here's Mommy," and then she realizes what's going on, and she just starts sobbing.
Now, as a mother yourself, did you find this to be realistic?
Yes. Definitely.
Was it emotionally devastating for you?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. there was her baby that she didn't even know was still
And
alive.
they cast like the cutest kid. She was
so cute.
introduced. What's her name? Let me look this up.
That girl is like what, 25 now?
Well, no, this is 2004. So however she old. It doesn't say here.
No.
By the way, we forgot to mention when at the beginning of the movie, Sam Jackson does have a cameo as Rufus the piano
Yes, he
player.
does.
You never see him straight on,
But
but
he gets murdered.
he gets murdered. He does. Get
Moided.
Moided.
Moided. I'm good.
Yeah, okay, well then I'll take the rest, because God knows we need it. This is a long show. We started this at 7:30. It's 9:49.
Oh my God, we're not even done.
Actually, we started the show at 7:10.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's get over.
Really? Did we start the show at 7:10? I think we did.
Yeah, 7:12.
It's 9:10, 9:49. Like, this is
Yeah.
like one of my like season-ending shows, but it is the 100th episode. Like, what the hell?
100. Come on, 100 episodes.
And we've drank rum and 2 bottles of wine.
2 bottles of wine, babe.
So, okay. So, what's really interesting, and we get to the conflict between Bill and Beatrix.
Yeah.
And what I love is Bill has a long soliloquy or diatribe, however you want to call it, about Superman.
He does.
And the idea about comic book characters and how the importance of comic book characters.
Which was very interesting what he was saying.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And he says, look, that Batman is a character.
Batman is a man who dresses up as a superhero.
Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne puts on the Batman character.
Same with Spider-Man. He's a kid, but he puts on the suit and he becomes Spider-Man. But Superman was born Superman, and he puts on a costume to be a guy.
A human being. Clark Kent is his costume.
Yeah, Clark Kent is his costume.
And he equates Beatrix. Beatrix is Clark Kent. Beatrix is Superman. She's a killer.
She's a killer.
And she would
was
put
trying
on...
to put on this mother suit and be married to this record store owner. But in actuality, she is a killer.
A killer. But what's interesting is that we know that Vernita Green pulled that off.
She did.
Vernita Green pulled it off, and it worked. And Beatrix has
But
seen
he
this.
shoots her up with truth serum.
Right.
And so when he starts asking her questions, do you think you could have done that? She's like, no.
Right. Yeah. She admits.
Do you think you could have pulled that off?
I could never pull that off.
Right.
And which is interesting. Like, so the fact that Bill killed the wedding party and all this, she admits that I could never have been this person. And it just keeps adding layers to the whole story. And he's basically trying to convince her we should be together. Like, we're birds of a feather.
Could you imagine?
We're killers.
There's no way. He
No.
tried to kill her. How could she possibly
ever
trust him again?
Because he is a
delusional.
He believes he's in charge of everything. He's a guy that thinks he knows everything about everything. Is wrong.
There's no way he could repair that. He tried to kill her. No.
But he thinks he can.
No. There's no fucking
But
way.
it's very interesting, and they have this long conversation, and he shoots her.
Flashback, because what did they?
Well, then we go. The flashback's important.
Yeah.
That's when we find out she's pregnant. When did she find out? We go to we talked about it earlier in the early part of the show, where
when she finds out she's pregnant, and how she decides to leave him.
Actually, her last mission.
Yeah.
Was to go kill this chick. And the chick knew, Lisa Wong, knew that she was coming.
Right.
So she hired another assassin.
But in the meantime, she's like taking she doesn't feel well, so she takes the pregnancy test, and she finds out she's pregnant right before this assassin comes to kill her.
Mm. And that's when we have
that moment is when she decides she's going to leave Bill because she doesn't want her daughter to be in that life. No,
she and let me ask you this. I will never know what it's like to find out that I'm pregnant. Unless transhumanism comes about in the next 25 years. And because if I could have a kid and feel it gestating in my body, I would. You had an alien parasite twice in your body. What was that like for you?
Actually, more than twice.
Really?
I had a couple miscarriages.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, it's the weirdest feeling. It seriously feels like there's an alien inside of you.
Right. So,
but then you also have this feeling of like, I created this. This is mine. It's like a weird, amazing feeling.
So
and you feel extremely protective.
So let me ask you this:
a mother bear would do anything to protect her child. Anything, and I still would.
Well, without getting crazy and weird about it, I mean, let me ask you this: do you feel that the motivations, the character motivations, as Quentin Tarantino wrote them?
Philip, alcohol is no doubt truth serum.
Yo, man, I mean, we're just trying to be entertaining. I think we're damn What kind of YouTube show brings you this kind of entertainment after 100 episodes? But I would say, so did you feel the portrayal of Beatrix Kiddo? And by the way, she was a mother by this point.
She was.
Uma Thurman was Ethan Hawke's mama.
Oh, right. Yes, who was on Stranger Things, her baby.
Yes.
Very cool. I love her daughter.
And they look like both. Great.
She's amazing.
So this assassin scene is great, and this is what I was talking about, alluding to earlier in the show, is that this assassin who Lisa Wong hired to get Uma Thurman before she was killed. There's the whole, and in my mind, I mean, for my whole thing is that you don't kill a pregnant woman. Like the way I read, my reading of the text of the movie was that and she's like, you must believe I'm pregnant. And it seems, and I just found out I'm pregnant.
Right.
And what's interesting is when she finds out, the assassin finds out she's pregnant, she's willing to leave. But, no one knows because it's all bullshit anyway. But in my reading of the film, the way it was played is that in this milieu, you don't kill a pregnant woman. You just don't. You never do. That's dishonorable.
Except Bill does kill her. And she's full on pregnant.
Well, but that's part of the thing is that Bill dishonored his anger when he did that. It's like when Michael Corleone kills Fredo. That sets in motion the mechanism for which Mary Corleone dies in Godfather 3. Once you have transgressed.
How come we haven't done the Godfather films? That's insane.
I don't know, but they're my favorite movies of all time.
Well, in the
Godfather
new year,
1 and 2.
We're going to do those.
Well, you know what we're going to do first is the new version of Godfather 3 that comes out next week.
Well, we can't do them backwards. We got to do them in order.
All right. Well, then we'll do a Godfather week.
But first, we got to do the Tarantino couple of weeks. Then we got to do some Christmas movies.
Well, okay.
I think in the new year we will do.
Actually, The Godfather is a Christmas movie. There's some Christmas scenes. Anyway. So wait, why are we talking about this? Let's get back to the whole thing, man.
Because you brought up The Godfather.
I always bring up The Godfather. Wait do you see my Godfather action figures? It's gonna be great.
Yeah, where's the statue?
Oh, it's over there.
It used to be on your desk.
I know, but it's over there.
Pearl took over because she's so huge.
I love that you call her Pearl.
That's her name.
I know. It's Pearl. It was named by the Post-Geek singularity.
She's huge.
She is huge. I wish I was huge like Pearl. But anyway, so anyway, we get back to the whole. Come on,
yes, being a mother. Yeah, I took it as she's a mother bear and she's going to protect her child no matter what.
Well, and then so there's a great scene. They have this conversation and everything, and it's a long scene. I mean, in terms of acting, it's Tarantino at his best, letting his actors fucking unleash. David Carradine, rest in peace. This scene is a tour de force for him. Long takes, no coverage. I mean, it's just him talking. It's so great.
Who's talking?
Bill. David Carradine.
When?
The whole soliloquy about Superman and all this.
Yeah, but we already talked about that.
I know, but
then we went to the scene where they cut away and they talk about her finding out that she's pregnant.
Yes, but then they cut.
And then
back.
they cut back, and by then she has her sword. They're outside.
They're outside and sitting at the table.
They're sitting at the table, right? And they're talking.
And I have to say, the choreography of this next sequence, Richardson's photography, the choreography, is so well done. It's so fast and quick, and they're sitting in chairs, and they have a sword fight sitting in chairs.
They do.
And it is so amazing. It is so brilliantly conceived and shot. Every moment, so great. And at the end, it's just like Beatrix Kiddo grabbing out the eye.
She does the 5-finger palm heart stopping move
that Pai Mei taught her, that he taught no one else.
And then Bill is like, he taught you the 5.
And it's great. It cuts him and he's got blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah,
because he's got internal bleeding. His heart's already exploded. Wait, could you do that again?
I know the 5-finger palm heart stopping.
I think you know a 5-finger palm technique. I don't know if it's a heart stopping one, but it certainly is a good one.
It didn't stop your heart, babe.
Well, then I'd be dead.
No, but like in a way that's like love. Heart stopping, like.
Oh no, it's all there. It's all there. Especially when you use 2 hands. It's amazing. I'm like, oh.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway,
What?
He realizes what she's done, and
he realizes he's got moments to live.
Right. And then she says, "I think you're ready." And he takes 5 steps and he drops dead.
He drops dead. It's great.
It is so good.
And then, of course, Beatrix Kiddo is reunited with her daughter.
She takes her daughter and they just leave. And then she just sobs in the bathroom of the hotel.
And by the way, I need to point out that when they have the first moments together, her daughter says...
5-finger exploding heart technique.
Yeah.
That's what it's
her
called.
daughter says, "Can we watch Shogun Assassin?"
Well, that's before she kills Belle.
Yeah, it is before she kills Belle. But I just want to point out that Shogun Assassin, which harks back to the first film, The House of Blue... If you guys haven't seen Shogun Assassin, you can get it on Blu-ray or in the Criterion Lone Wolf and Cub. I think Shogun Assassin has the greatest... So, Shogun Assassin is a movie... There are 6 Lone Wolf and Cub movies based on the comic book Lone Wolf and Cub in Japan. But the producers of Shogun Assassin bought the first 2 movies and cut them together in one. But they had to dub the whole thing. So they got Sandra Bernhard, the comedian, to do all the female voices. And there's a kid that they decided to narrate it. And one of the producers, they sat the kid down and they just told him what to say. They're like, say this. It is the greatest child VO performance of all time.
Really?
I
want to see it.
I have Aito Ogami.
Can we watch it tonight?
Yes. We could. I mean, you want to watch Shogun Assassin?
Why not?
But it's in there. Why? It's so good.
I kind of do.
Okay, well, we can do that. So anyway, life is good. Bill is dead. Beatrix Kiddo is reunited with his...
She takes her kid.
Okay, so now that we've recounted the plot in our inimitable way, cheers to that, babe. We made it through 2 bottles of wine, rum, and let me ask you this. What, like, looking back on this film, what does this movie... what does it say about the mid-aughts, about the 2000s, Tarantino's 4th and 5th movie? What does it say? What does it mean to you, looking back on this?
I don't know what it says about the aughts, but I have to tell you, this movie is fucking badass.
Wow.
I love this film. I loved it the moment I watched it, and I loved it again and again and again.
Okay, but let me... Why, though? Why? I mean, it deals with motherhood. It deals with revenge.
Right, because, like, she stood up for herself.
Oh,
she
okay.
stood up for herself. She was abused, and then she stood up for herself.
Okay.
And she won in the end, and she got her daughter.
Well, I mean, it follows a classical revenge trope. That's why I agree with you. I find this movie, both movies, highly satisfying. I mean, the one thing about Tarantino films is he you know, of all filmmakers, he might be the most populist filmmaker who's ever lived, because he takes he takes all films, all cinema history, because he loves it so much, and he distills it to its essence, and then he gives back all of, if you've never seen,
back all these things that we love.
yes, if you've never seen a total movie or
oh
show,
my god, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And the music, you're like, oh my god, I fucking love that.
right? I mean, he's a guy that works in myth. He understands the myth of Hollywood that we all buy into. It's great.
Are you okay, babe?
I'm just burping. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to hold it together. I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, I'm wearing Blackpink, my favorite pedophile band in Korea.
Pedophile?
I'm just kidding, babe. They're like hot girls that are really too young for me.
Oh, that band. What the hell?
I love the shirt. I love their logo. It's not like I sit there and obsessively watch Blackpink videos.
I hope
Although,
not.
well, there's only one song I really love, and it's one of their older tunes.
How did you get that t-shirt?
Amazon. I've worn this before. This is not the first time I've ever worn this shirt. It's been around.
By the way,
Blackpink with your attitude.
the Japanese were not nice to the Koreans.
Oh, I know.
For you to wear that shirt right now when we're talking about...
I'd like to think that we're progressive. We're moving forward, but you're right. You know, Dieter Bastian told me about a great movie called Battleship Island.
I want to see that.
Well, I'll tell you, there's two versions, and I'm you know, trying to get the long version, not the short version, the long version. Anyway, so back to Kill Bill.
Back to Kill Bill.
So, you know, by the way, let's go back to, pardon me, Black Phillip Alvarez's letter.
Yes, that's
which
right.
we rudely interrupted.
So rudely.
And let's talk about where he is at. Oh, let's see if I've got the right one. Oh no, that's Tootsie's. We're gonna read that later. Wait, hang on. Oh, I know.
What did you do?
Hell, let me just make sure. Yes, we're going back to Black Phillip Alvarez's. And by the way, when I say it's not racist, he's a satanic. He's a satanic goat.
He is. He's Black Phillip.
Just so he's Black Phillip. Let's go back to Black Phillip goes on. His letter that we rudely interrupted says, now on to Volume 2. Hey, 2 films covered means an extra long letter, right? Why, yes, Black Phillip, it does. Anyway, Volume 2 couldn't be any more different than Volume 1. As much as I love Volume 1, Volume 2 seems to be more traditional Tarantino as it's very dialogue heavy. It feels poetic at times, as if Beatrix needed to feel justified in her pursuit for revenge on Bill and the remaining Viper squad. The movie isn't even as violent as the first film, and it didn't need to be. It's a film noir in the beginning and a western going into the final acts. The use of the music is much stronger here than Volume 1. I don't know about that, it's just different. It helps to tell the story before the usual long pieces of dialogue. I'm not going to talk about Ellie Driver and Bud, which I think slowed the film down. While sure I appreciated Ellie's explanation on snake venom, it was very unfulfilling she ended up killing Bud, especially after he pretty much tried to bury Beatrix alive. Speaking of the scenes of Beatrix being buried alive, the flashback scenes with Pai Mei are my favorite. You get to see how Beatrix trained and became the disciplined person she is now. The scenes are actually quite powerful, and while the Pai Mei character could have been silly at first, I appreciated those scenes because it tells her backstory. Fun fact, though, Tarantino almost cast himself as Pai Mei, but didn't think people would take it seriously, so he got Gordon Lau instead. Thank fucking Christ. Now on to the twist of the movie. When Bill reveals to Beatrix that her daughter Bibi is still alive and he's been raising her for the past 5 years, I felt these scenes were peak Tarantino and powerful, and made to seem as if Beatrix was going to have a change of heart killing Bill. The scenes with her daughter were heartwarming, and the flashback scene where she realizes she is pregnant and the assassin sent to kill her had sympathy was great also. Let me say that Bill's entire monologue about Superman is not only a great analogy of the entire film, but makes perfect sense. In other words, Bill didn't make Beatrix who she is, and making him think she was dead all these years was just as wrong. He genuinely loved her and wanted her to change because she was going to be a mother now, yet trying to kill her was just business. At the same time, Bill still feels he deserves to die, and Beatrix wins because she has her daughter now and can now get out of the assassin business for good. I felt his death from the 5-finger death punch was the best way for him to die, as it wasn't painful, and he deserved a respectful demise. Beatrix gets the conclusion she deserves all along with her daughter. I really do hope Tarantino and Thurman get to make Kill Bill Volume 3. It's been 16 years since the last one. Maybe he's been secretly filming it like Shyamalan did with Split. We can only hope, as Tarantino fans, but anything he does next is already anticipated. In conclusion, once again, congratulations on 100 episodes and covering one of my favorite Tarantino films. Come on, brah. It's two of your favorite Tarantino films.
One.
I know. The whole bloody affair. I hope you can all cover more of his films for future episodes of WINEning. Take care, be safe, and happy holidays. Philip, here's to you, sir.
Yes.
Cheers to Black Philip Alvarez.
Cheers to Philip.
What a lovely letter. Thank you so much. By the way, if you all have alcoholic beverages, drink like we do.
Drink. Bottoms up.
So, I think we got some more super chats.
Okay.
And by the way, 7:30. It's now 10:11.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
In a world.
You know, our dogs are going to expect us to walk them in 20
I know,
minutes.
and which we will do. Let's see. I have to look back. Oh, hang on. So, let's go here. So, Black Philip Alvarez says, even my letter had a volume 2. I mean, I ruined it in the chat about bitching the ending of volume 2. Bill didn't sympathize with her at all and still wanted to kill her. May I suggest Total Recall or Collateral? Oh, you already said that. I read it. So there you go. You get to read it twice. Anthony Gonzalez says, how you doing, Elizabeth? Hey, Rob. You've mentioned your first encounter with the 7 script. After you finally saw it, what did you think? And Liz, what were your impressions? Okay, 7 should be a movie we do.
Yeah,
but I'm going to tell you
definitely.
something. 7, okay, for what Anthony is referring to, hang on. You know what? You don't need to see us. You want to see us, right? Let's go back to this. So what Anthony is referring to, I used to read screenplays for a living. I read for Silver Pictures, William Morris, CAA, Pierre David, who made Scanners and Videodrome, many others. The only script, when you read scripts, you have to write a little book report about them called coverage. And when I read the script for 7, it was sent to me by it wasn't sent to me. It was sent to Silver Pictures, where I was reading, by an agent named Gavin Pallone, who is now he's a very successful producer in Hollywood. But when Gavin Pallone worked for an agency called Bauer Benedict, everything he sent over was amazing. He had great taste. His clients were good. And when I read, this is in 1990, it was 30 years ago. And I had asked, when I was working for Silver Pictures, please send me every script that Gavin Pallone sends over. There were 2 you'd recognize. One is 7. It was amazing. The other was a script called T-Rex by a writer named Jonathan Batul, who wrote The Last Starfighter. And his script for T-Rex, by the way, was amazing. And many of you will say, Rob, wasn't that made as a movie with Whoopi Goldberg? Yes. And didn't Jonathan Betul direct it? Yes, he did. And it was fucking awful. But let me just stick up for Jonathan Betul right now. His original script for T-Rex was amazing. It was Blade Runner with dinosaurs. And let me just say, the 7 script that Andy Kevin Walker wrote was one of the best scripts I have ever read, and the only script as a professional reader I said yes to. Have you seen 7, the movie?
Of course I have.
Okay, anyway, we talked about this earlier. Anyway, Black Philip Alvarez says, even my letter had volume 2. Looking forward to the next Let's Get Physical Media show. And my letter read, my Dieter, my heart is... Look, man, you sent a letter in to Let's Get Physical Media, and you specifically asked Dieter Bastian to read it. Should I be offended by that?
No.
I do my best. But you know what?
Dieter can have fans too, babe.
Even I loved listening to Dieter read. Because I got to tell you, the vocal stylings of Dieter Bastian, he doesn't understand because he's just German. Let me just say.
What did you just say? He doesn't understand because he's German?
Yeah, because he doesn't understand how we love his accent.
Oh.
Why, what'd you think I was saying?
Part. I don't know, but you were like...
No, the great thing about... Look, anybody who watches the show, the reason I do a YouTube show with Dieter Bastian is he's smart, he's funny, he knows his movies, and he loves physical media. Now, Philip, you asked him to read your letter. I could have been like all upset, but let me just tell you, Dieter Bastian, the dulcet tones of his German accent make me very happy. Some people would say, like a little girl. But I won't say that. I just love doing the show with him. And let me just raise a glass. Thank you for admiring the show. Let's drink to Dieter Bastian, my homeboy in Saarbrücken, Deutschland. And if you haven't seen our show, Let's Get Physical Media, Rob, why haven't they seen our show? I don't know, Dieter. Why haven't they?
I don't know. You should watch it.
You should watch it. Aeon sent in a super chat and says, happy 100th. Here's to another 100. Oh my God, are we going to do another one? Well, here's to you, babe.
Here we go.
I mean, my God, my liver. Talk about cirrhosis of the liver. Oh my God.
1 glass of wine a day is good for you.
Right. So we got 2 bottles of wine and rum.
Well, I didn't have
I know
very
it's a
much
special
rum.
show. It's a special. Neither
We've
did I.
been going for like what?
Austin.
3 hours. We've been going for 3 hours.
Well, we're going for 2 hours and 45 minutes. This is a special show.
We started at 7:10 or 7:12.
7. Yeah. Well, we did. Oh, you're right. We're over 3 hours. Augie, Austin Hernandez is here. Since guys. Where's the other guy? Guys, happy 100th. So proud of you guys. Love hearing both of your points of views on movies. Keep up the awesome content. And your TP is waiting. Oh, we gotta go.
Thank you, Austin.
We should go down and do a live show from his place.
We should.
We should have Austin and his dad.
Yes.
Because, by the way, Austin saved our bums. Let me just say, Austin Hernandez, I filmed them, and I was like, I've kind of felt weird about like filming them. That was a weird thing. Yeah. But Augie Hernandez and his father, they have a family-run business in Los Angeles. They've owned since, Augie, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say 83. And they've got this local grocery store with great food, and it's pretty great. And if you come to LA, you should go to their grocery store. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. And Terrence Melonius, subscribe to the channel. Thanks, Terrence. Kurt Quake. Kirk. Oh, it's 4.5. So Kurt Quake sent in a super chat and says, for Black Phillip and Bill, keep jamming, Rob and Elizabeth. I mean, didn't you have can you do your Kurt Quake?
I don't know.
It's a quake. You're supposed to, like, quake.
I don't imitate Kirk.
It's a Kurt. It's not even Kirk. It's Kurt. You have to have a quake. Just 4.5.
Oh, I would be like
That's a good quake. That's a good quake, babe. Wait, don't spill the wine. Good
ground
quake.
is shaking. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh! That's a good quake. It's good. Wow, this show is so off the rails. G Money sent in a super chat. Thank you, G Money.
Money.
Cheers to money.
Money.
Yes. Black Philip Alvarez is here. Oh, Rob, you've read like 12 letters of mine. Laugh out loud. You will narrate my future autobiography. I wanted to hear that amazing German accent read in my poetic letters. Love y'all. Cheers to another 100.
Cheers.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. By the way, just so you know, Dieter had me send his letters to him earlier to make sure he read them well. And I have to say,
to practice.
The dulcet tones of Dieter Bastian reading Black Philip Alvarez's letters, I was sweating, man. I was sweating bullets. I was so excited. I think I lost like 5 pounds, which is great. So I look less like Robert Paulson than Meatloaf did in Fight Club, which is good. So the Squish Show sends in a super chat and says, I love this show. Tipsy Rob verisimilitude. Let's hear it for that. Oh my God. It is whining about movies after all.
We are whining.
We're so whining. Like
about movies.
You know, it's not like, oh, come on, man. What do you have to do? Why do you have to... No, this is all about, let's have some... Yeah.
Whining.
We're whining. We're like, come on, man. It's not like, oh my God. We're doing a good thing. We're like, yeah, man, what's up? A 3-hour show. You know what? If we were on the
over 3 hours.
If we were on the SS Minnow, we would already be capsized with the Professor and Marianne and Gilligan. I mean, just saying. Because they only had a 3-hour tour.
Only 3-hour tour.
I know.
Yeah. We would be like capsizing right now.
It's true. Mr. Tickletrunk, how are you, sir? Wasn't here for the first 100th, but I'll be here for the next. Congratulations, and if 1 glass of wine a day is good, a whole bottle should be great. Well, that's what I say.
There's a tipping point.
Well, speaking of that, Tim, the spider monkey, tips, and he says, I've been keeping up with the drinking game. I can't see straight anymore.
Neither can we.
You don't have to. What's great is, here's to Tim. Here's to Down Under. Tim comes from a land down under.
That's right.
Hey, man, put on some Jimmy Barnes and some cold chisel. You know what I'm saying. Mr. Tickletrunk sends in another super chat and says, judging by all this screaming, I've been proven correct. What? Screaming?
We're not screaming.
Come on, scream.
We're not screaming!
That's not... Come on, bring it up a little bit.
No, I don't think I want to do that.
What if I were to say... What if I had to poke you?
I don't scream. I don't scream except in scary movies.
Oh, okay. You, by the way, you scream really...
I'm a screamer!
You are... You know, that makes me feel sad because I'm apparently not good enough.
What do you mean?
To make you a screamer.
I'm a screamer. But I also have kids. Anyway.
You do. And your kids make me scream too.
That's not what I meant, but anyway.
But it's true. I've screamed your kids and the dogs.
No, that's not what I meant at all.
Okay, I'm just saying the big man voice.
I'm just saying, when you have kids, you can't really be a screamer at times.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
I do see what you mean. You can't. You have to be the adult. Yeah. Okay. Augie Hernandez is back and says, since 1980, actually, on the 8th of December is our 40th anniversary. Oh, my God. Okay.
Huh?
Augie, who gave us our first toilet paper. He said, I have toilet paper. We went down there. We drove down there. We filmed that. I never put it up. I didn't put up, you know, I felt a little weird about it.
Why?
I don't know. I did. But I have the footage. And you know what?
What?
If Augie, if it's your 40th anniversary, we need to go back there.
40th anniversary.
We have to go back
what?
there. Of Augie's grocery store that we went and got the first toilet paper with lockdown. Because we have not driven anywhere since then.
We haven't gone anywhere.
Augie, we should do a live broadcast something.
We go to the grocery store.
By the way, do you know what December
That's
8th is? That's a Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Do you know how I know that? Because December 7th is a Tuesday, which we're doing Star Trek the Motion Picture on.
I thought we were doing... I'm confused. I thought we were doing Tarantino for 2 weeks.
Well, we're doing not for 2 weeks. Or we'll have an interruption to do Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Okay, that's cool.
So, Augie, yes. Well, listen, I think that now it's 10:24.
Oh, my God. The dogs need to be walked.
Well, yeah.
They better not pee in my bed.
No, the dog walking thing, no, that would be bad, is in 4 minutes or 6 minutes. We have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't even know if my moderating staff, which is so good, is still here. They might have abandoned us, but you know what? Joshua Levesque is still here, and the Richard's still here. I can't believe it.
And
MC Blackcap is still here. My God, you guys are great.
There's still tons of people here. Thank you so much, guys, for being here.
I mean, this is amazing.
Everyone.
This is truly a party. Our 100th anniversary, our 100th episode, not anniversary. If it was our 100th anniversary, we'd be dead and rotting in the ground. That would be bad.
Nah, we'll live forever.
Who wants to live forever?
Me.
Have we done Highlander? Yeah, we did.
Are you kidding?
Who wants to live forever?
Come on, Sean Connery in Highlander.
Oh, come on, man.
Why is this the only Sean Connery figure that you have? Oh,
well, it's not the only one, but
where are his other figures?
okay, just come on, man.
I'm sorry. I can't.
That's Henry Jones. And put his hand on.
I'm sorry. Where are the other Sean Connery figures?
Okay, we'll put him down right now.
Where is my Zed?
There is no Zed. I don't have a Zed. I'll buy it. I'll buy a Zed.
Where is Zardoz?
There is no Zed. No, it's right up there. Uh-oh. Well, no, look. Look. The penis is evil. The gun is good. Wow, you just really just made a giant, massive... No, you're not sorry. I'm really upset about what you just did.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I didn't do that.
I'm upset. I am Arthur Frayne. Zardoz. Anyway, come on. You know what? We got to end the show.
I'm sorry.
We thanked our moderators.
You give me tons of wine. What do you expect?
She just did. It's fine. It's fine. I love you, babe. Come on, give me a kiss.
I'm glad you're not mad at me. Because I just dumped a bunch of...
I have furious anger. It's just don't step on them when we leave.
And,
I mean...
And
oh my...
John Travolta.
Oh, yeah, no. It's
Pulp Fiction.
It's...
What
you just did is so terrible.
He's
anyway,
on the ground.
Let's not end the show on that. Okay?
You're not mad at me, are you?
No, I'd never be mad at you. The Squish Show, by the way, sent in, I finished Zed's head. I just have to get the bodies in the mail.
What?
Well, the Squish Show said he's going to make a Zed.
Squish Show? Really?
You know, the problem is...
I'm going to cry.
The problem is, it really bothers me that the Squish Show is making you an action figure that you really want badly. I hope you don't...
Why does that bother you?
Because if you squish with the action figure... I mean, I think you should keep it in mint condition.
Why would I ruin my Zed?
I don't think you'd ruin it.
The only Zed that would exist in the world.
Well, no. Zardoz speaks to you. You know, we should actually have this hanging. Between us.
No,
like,
I think this should be in my studio.
No, it should.
Along with my Zed.
No, because Cliff Stevenson got that for me off Etsy.
But if he had known that I I love this movie.
You had not seen this movie when I got that.
He would have given it to me.
No, I cannot give a gift that a friend of mine gave me to you unless I ask him if it's okay.
Okay, Cliff, is it okay that I have...
Cliff is not watching this show.
Zardoz. Yes, he does. He watches this show. Can I have Zardoz, please?
I think the Robservatory would be lesser if it didn't have the Zardoz head in it.
You have 2 of these.
Yes, one is 1/6 scale, one is life size.
What do you need a Zardoz?
Why are you equating Clockwork Orange with Zardoz? They came out in different years.
It's just sitting here on the desk.
Yeah, but so is a head sculpt of Voldemort. So what are you saying? Like, come on.
Such random
shit.
Okay,
stop. Just stop.
What more?
It's time to end the show, babe. We have to go. All these people are like, enough.
They
enough.
love seeing what's on your desk.
Enough of the drunken people. Look. I've even got a steampunk flask.
In 1 minute,
Empty.
the dogs want
Empty.
us to walk them.
Yeah, we gotta go. It's time to walk the dogs. Ladies and gentlemen.
4 glasses.
Well, hang on. There's people. Thomas HH sent a super chat and says, "It's 7:28 a.m. here, so good morning."
Whoa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's a Bee
Where are
Gees
you?
song. I don't know where Thomas is, but my God. Here's to you. And by the way, I hope when you get up every morning, have some wine. G Money sent in a super chat. Just made a kamikaze cheers to 100. Well, thank you. Wait, I hope that doesn't mean you died. You didn't fly a plane into an American battleship.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We don't. Anyway, I want to thank our moderating staff. I want to thank our fans. I want to thank everybody who watches our show. We have a small but dedicated audience we love. Thank you so much. What do you think about them? It's your show.
I love you guys so much. I love reading the chat. I love seeing what you're saying. I love when you watch the movies. I love you all. I really do.
I know you do. I know I know. And I've watched you grow and change as we've done this show. Boy, that you really upset me. But it's okay. I love you anyway. It's okay. Just don't step on anything before we leave.
I won't step on
anything. Please, nothing.
On John Travolta.
No. But anyway, join us for the 101st episode of Elysabeth's Whining About Movies, where we bring you Tony Scott's seminal True Romance, a script that Tarantino wrote pre-Reservoir Dogs. So, there you go.
And I give these
hang on. Yeah, oh my God. Explain what our my God, can I believe...
Okay, our bottoms up scale is from 1 to 4 glasses because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
Yes, there are.
So I give volume 1 4 glasses and I give volume 2 4 glasses.
So this is an 8 glasses of wine
8
series.
Glasses, 8 glasses.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on 4 glasses each. 4 glasses each.
4 glasses each.
I might give part 2 3.75.
What?
I know. Well...
Wait, what? No. I'm sorry. That's not valid.
Really? Yeah. You're telling me my own things aren't valid? Well, anyway, okay, fine. I'll capitulate to your pressure.
How could Volume 2 be less than Volume 1?
Well, because from an entertainment perspective...
Volume 1 is just the fluff. Volume 2 gives you, like, the punch. How could you say that Volume 2 is less than Volume 1?
I've been on porn sets, and sometimes the fluff is good.
The fluff is good. That's why I gave it 4 glasses. But the punch is even better, and that's why it gets 4 glasses also.
Or the ponderous nature of the second part of the film that doesn't quite have the narrative thrust of the first part might lead me to say...
It answers all the questions. It gets 4 glasses.
I give it 3.75. Why am I being argued with? I give 4 stars to Kill Bill Part 1. I give 3.75.
I just don't understand how Part 1 could get more glasses than the second.
It's just my opinion, yo. Your mileage may vary.
Okay, it's your opinion, but
Still love you. I mean, you're asking me for 0.25 a percentage point. We're going to argue?
yeah,
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I guess
we
I have to
are.
sleep in here tonight.
I guess so.
Oh, well. Got my jacket. You walk both dogs. Have a good time.
I'm not walking both dogs.
Just kidding. This is our spat. We talk about a percentage point in our movie rating system.
I still love you.
I still love you too, babe. Come on, man. Like, for real. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the longest episode of Elysabeth's whining about movies ever. Take us out.
Everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is... What do you have to do, Bob? You have to listen.
All you have to do is listen to Zardoz.
The gun is good.
The penis is evil. Thanks very much. I hope you all join us for the next 100 episodes. Right?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
now we go. Now is the time when we dance.